5 minutes is flexible.
There's an order. Here's. This is. Do you see how these are connected? Yeah, so like this is the example. And then here, they have some grid. They're gonna split into teams. And they're gonna like pairs that go together. And they're weird go togethers. So me, you, and Cole will be like judging to help them with that. We'll split them into like two sides and gotta figure it out. Hopefully new, just old. We might need to have some of that. So we might push like Faye and Quinn and Evan to the other side since they're also new. Then, so we might do that, but we'll see. Kids. Don't worry. Huh? Yes, I will. We'll have fun with it. I'm telling you. Okay. We're about ready to begin here. Thank you very much, everyone. It is Thursday, May 1st, 2025. I now call this meeting of the Madison College Student Senate General Assembly to order at 4:32 p.m. At this moment in time, can I get a roll call?
Roll call starts now. Study of Council President Brito.
Here I am, President. Oops.
President. Vice President of Legislative Affairs.
Present.
Vice President of Team Development. Vice President of Public Relations Jackson Meekins.
Present.
Vice Cole.
Present.
And to senators from Bronx campus, Senator Vila.
Present.
Senator Sierra Brown.
Absent.
Senator Rafter.
Present.
Senator Valerio.
Senator Villarreal is present.
Senator Richfields.
Present.
Senator Matson.
Present.
Senator Portillo. Senator West.
Absent.
Senator Mendoza.
Present.
Move the regions, move the senators from regional and metro campuses. Woodbridge Senator Crowder.
Present.
Reedsburg Senator Stacy Brown.
Absent.
Washington Senator Port Atkinson Senator Dopes.
Present.
Order.
Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to say welcome to our General Assembly meeting of the Madison College Student Senate. This is a public meeting and will be recorded for transparency and record-keeping purposes. We're going to cover a few basic items before beginning. If you lose connection at any point during the meeting, you can reconnect by clicking the link or calling the number in your original email. The senators and other members online, please activate your video and keep it on for the duration of the meeting if it's possible. Use the raise hand feature when you'd like to be recognized to speak, ask questions, or request a roll call vote. As chair, I'll do my best to call on committee members in the order in which hands are raised. Lowering your hand will set you out of the queue. At this moment in time, can you take a look at the minutes? These are the minutes from Thursday, April 17th. Unfortunately, last week we're not able to have quorum, so we're not able to have a meeting, which means that Lando did not need to do minutes for that. So there are no minutes from that week. But this is the meeting from the minutes from the previous meeting. Highlights to notice, we had student website feedback. We talked about compliance over international student visas and the situation over that. Stuff that almost came in and led to the resolution that we'll be discussing today. We had some general reports, talked about name tags, talked about the WSG meeting. For unfinished business, we had a table again, the WTCS refund policy work group feedback. And unfortunately, because of everything going on this week, we think that that's just they're not gonna hear from us, just from me, and that's okay. Everyone turned in their stipends. We passed Bill 5 and 6. We will be discussing Resolution 13 on MOU for regional nursing students this week. And with that, does that all look accurate? Yes. Annette?
I move to approve.
Move to approve. Do you have a second? I think a second from Senator Avila. I think I saw first. With that, any discussion?
Hearing none and seeing none online, is that correct, Cole?
Yep.
Okay, we can do a vote of unanimous approval. If no one's opposed, this motion carries in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. We can move on to the next item, which is the reading and approval of the meeting agenda. Can we pull up the agenda, please? Thank you. Very fast. This is what we got on the agenda today. We'll be doing public comments from cafeteria dining services, improvements for nutrition and halal food dietary options. Kim Henderson, Director of Auxiliary Services, in the room literally right now. Student Senate Hall of Fame, achieving campus-wide changes for the student body. The best president of the decade, Tina Marshallek, who did the textbook rental program, is coming in. So you might even be familiar with her, or was she before you joined?
I think she was before me.
She was just before you.
Yeah.
You joined in 2020, is that correct?
I came in 21.
21, okay, yes. So yeah, she was just a little before you, so you didn't get a pleasure of working with her, but that's what we got going on. We got our standard, we got our new senator orientation. We have a little mini presentation from Evan for community college bachelor degrees. We have our normal reports. If you scroll down to, you'll see that we do have some room for other special and select committees and our unfinished business, resolution 13. MOU for regional nursing students, resolution 14, upholding international student rights, and bill number 7, selecting a Senate rep for a WSG governor. Very packed meeting. We're going to try to get through it all and hopefully get you out of here no more than 3 hours. And if we can, in 2 hours, we shall see. But that depends on us. In any case, you saw the agenda. I understand a motion to approve the agenda. Motion made by Senator Villarreal.
I second.
Do a second. Second by, I saw Quinn first. Sorry, that's how it goes. With that, motion made by Senator Villarreal, second made by Senator Mattson. Any discussion? Seeing none, we can do a vote of unanimous approval. If no one's opposed, we can carry in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyone online? Nope. Perfect. Agenda is passed. We can move on. Before we start just right away, I just want to welcome the people in the room. These are new senators, so welcome to you all. Some of the people here are also going to be current senators. So get to know some of the people in the room. You'll see that the seat I'm sitting in right now, next year will be Jose sitting in it. He'll be the one wielding the gavel. So this is just a taste. We're going through really fast because we have a lot, but there will be room to actually talk about the orientation with you all. So we're just trying to get through some of the basic stuff, make sure that we can get her out there on time, and make sure we get some of the issues that we have packed for this meeting. You don't need to stay the whole time. We just ask that you stay for the first portion up until the new senator orientation. And if you could stay for Evan's presentation after Senator Riggles, Riggles. Okay. There we go. That's how it goes. So if you could stay for that presentation, it'd be nice, but you're not required to. I just would prefer you to. With that, without further ado, Kim Henderson is the Director of Auxiliary Services, who manages many things on campus, including the cafeteria, including the bookstore, including all the cafes, including the, I'm sure there's something else. The
Rental program,
and
Welcome Center.
there we go. Welcome Center is the one I forgot. So thank you very much. Without further ado, let's just give her a warm welcome because she is in Senate. So we'll just do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai. I wanted to come for a couple of things. So I took over dining services in August of 2022. And we've had some transition. We had some transition with the leadership, and we did a restructure. And so now that we're sort of settling down a little bit with some of those things, I do want to start a student initiative, and really what can dining services do so that we're communicating with students about what they'd like the cafeteria to be. What do you want to see us serving? We've heard from many students that the prices are high. We're doing the best we can to keep them, but everything's expensive. But part of that initiative is in the fall, we'd like to do some listening sessions and invite, all students to come. And so we can hear from everyone, sort of what's been going on. And we do have a survey. And so we've heard from a number of students on some things that we've been able to fix. And then we'll continue now that we have a different leadership. And we also have a different hierarchy. So before it was an executive chef and a sous chef and an associate manager. And really, the three of them really didn't have the operational management experience. They had the food experience, but not really how to operate dining services. And so I restructured, and so we have a back of house supervisor who is an executive chef, but he has managed kitchens. He has managed. We have a front of house supervisor, and then we have a general manager. So all three of them come with a wealth of experience so that we can move the dining experience for everybody to be better. We know it, we've got some work to do, and as I say, some things we have been able to do, but we still have more work to do. I did get your PowerPoint, and I just want to touch on a few of these really, really quickly, because I know that you were talking about distributing leftover food to students. And so we have completely flipped that. We have minimal food left over now. And so that was one of my priorities because we were either, it was getting tossed or staff were taking food home, and that's a no-no, right? So we have minimal food left over because we really have decreased the amount of food we're cooking during the day. So I just want to let you know that that was one of the biggest things was waste, but also, staff taking food home. That was a no-no. So we took care of most of that. So we don't have a lot of excess leftovers. We did about 2 months ago, I think it was, where one of the students who works in the cafeteria overcooked some hamburgers. So we ended up with like 17 hamburgers before we closed. But we took those over to Student Life and those students and the den and passed them out, and the students were able to enjoy those and some French fries without being charged, obviously. Definitely want to increase collaboration, and so I'd like to use the Student Senate to do some of that because I know you all are hearing from your students or those who go here, and so that we can make sure again, there is a wealth of information on college dining services, cafeterias. I read every Friday. It's just phenomenal. And there's just a lot of new things that are going on, especially after the pandemic. So everybody went through this where we weren't serving because there was nobody here. And so college cafeterias sort of need to recreate themselves in some of the things that they do. And so a lot of community and college universities took that opportunity to then reach out to their students and sort of say, what are you looking for? What would you like to say? So I'd like to follow that model and be able to, get some feedback. So we will definitely be doing that. We have currently, as I said earlier, we have a customer survey, but we thought it might be a good idea to have one separate just for students. We just have to figure out where to put that. And so students have an easier access, but we do hear from students with our survey. They are responding. Challenges, remaining compliance, safety. Yes, we just had an inspection, passed with flying colors. All of our cafes, so Truex, South, and Health. So we maintain that. That was another thing with having an executive chef. They know the things that we have to make sure we maintain, so we passed the inspection. Reducing the food waste. There was a lot of that sustainability. We started some efforts on that. So we've got some demos that will be happening over the summer. We want to go eco-friendly with our products. And so, the utensils and plates, cups, everything. So we've got, I think it's four vendors that are going to come in and do a demo for us this summer. So we could take a look to see what that looks like. We do have a compost, or Culinary Arts has a compost. So we do use that quite a bit, especially with our catering. So we are moving forward with some of those. There was one, and I'm trying to remember where that was. I think there was a question about a refrigerator.
I know. You want to talk about your
Yeah,
refrigerator?
that, would there be a refrigerator that we could have for students to be able to use? And currently we don't have a refrigerator. And right now our budget, I'll be honest with you, transparent. We're struggling a little bit because again, the pandemic took a toll on dining services. So we're slowly but surely easing our way back up. So we don't have funds to buy a refrigerator. And yes, we just don't have that. But the excess of food left over has diminished almost to zero now because we have a back of house supervisor who has completely changed that, and so we don't have a lot of waste. The only of this, does anybody have any questions about that? I think I answered everything.
I think we'll get to your whole food, it'll be a big portion of it. Do you have a question there?
It's more of a FYI in case you don't know. FPIC, we had our meeting yesterday and, David, Leclerc, who works in career services, is gonna be, creating a charter for the green team.
Oh,
So they're actually moving forward with that and it just seems wise to try and have someone from your team be a part of it.
yeah.
So I
Okay,
just thought
I'll
I'd
reach
mention
out to
that.
David.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that information.
And, oh, go for it, Quinn.
That, vendor demonstration of sustainability products, is that something that I or students could be involved in? And more broadly, are there access points for students to not only be informed, but involved in?
I think so. Yeah, are you around this summer?
Yes, I'll be around.
Okay, yep. Send me an email. Can you do that? Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can.
I mean, you could certainly be a part of the demo. I think all four of the vendors are local. One, even goes a step further and work with local farmers, because we want to do some things with that as well. But yeah, I mean, we certainly could.
That's all.
Sure. Just, I'll forget. I'll walk out the door and I'll completely forget.
Okay,
So
yes,
send me an
yes,
email, okay?
Yes, I will.
One last question over here. I don't see anyone online. For the refrigerator, I think the idea that me and Ohio were the ones that did the PowerPoint portion of what we sent to you.
Yeah.
The idea was that if whenever you cycled out equipment, like maybe we could retain one of the fridges and give it to, like have it be student-centered, like fridge that we could use, because the big one was the Fort Atkinson campus that needed that extra fridge for nursing students who came in. So if there's a way to like, whenever you upgrade, like that'll be left over. So,
Our freezers are all walk-in.
oh,
So they're built and they're walk-in, yeah.
gotcha.
So we don't have like I hear what you're saying. But
Okay,
we just had to replace one and they're extremely expensive.
right.
But yeah, they're, the four of them are all walk-in.
Okay, just an idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I mean, but if, again, I don't always like to just say no, or we can't do something. It doesn't mean that we can't look. If for some reason something were to change, I'm always open to have those conversations.
Okay, thank you.
I think, did he have a question?
Yeah, do you have the resolution in front of you? I imagine that's the next thing you're gonna talk about, right? The whole food?
This one?
Yup,
Yep,
I knew that was next, so.
this is next. And I thank you for sending this because this is the
Yeah.
first I've seen it.
See, I thought I sent it to Sylvia, Tina, and maybe not you then.
Maybe. This is the first I've seen it. And thank
Press
you.
enter to enable.
Because one of the things that we definitely are going to be doing as part of this, changing the dining experience is being more diverse with some of our menu selections. And so not everybody wants hamburger and french fry or whatever. We get a lot of requests for vegan, vegetarian, but thank you for this information. We don't know a lot about this, and so let me see, who is it? Who could we bring to a meeting? We'd like to meet. So Hassan. Okay,
Right here.
and we'd like to maybe sit down with you and have a conversation so that we're clear. There's some of the things that are requested. We have to keep things separate. So we'd have to figure all of that out and how we would do that. But yeah, I think this would be important for us to sit down and have a conversation like this. So are you around this summer?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll get a meeting scheduled and I'll invite you. And if there's somebody else
Sure.
that you think should come, certainly feel free to bring them. I think that's all that I have. Again, mid-October, we're gonna get some listening sessions set up, get some ideas. We want to follow up and we want to create a plan. And then implement some of the action items and then do a debrief sometime spring of 2027 term to see how those things that we put into place are going. And so, I would ask your help so to make sure that we get the word out. We did something like this for the textbook rental program. And we opened up and we had, I think, 4 different listening sessions and they were very helpful. But Student Senate did help us to get the word out and get that set up. So I'll look to see if you guys can help me with that as well.
Yeah.
I have a question on mine.
Okay, who's on one?
Lando.
Okay, Lando. And then we'll go Hassan and then Angel.
Hello, thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks.
I know you mentioned right away that you planned on sending out a dining survey to students and you were receiving responses. Do you just email that? And also, have you considered potentially, because we just recently met with the person who does the student side of the Madison College website, and she was asking for feedback on how we can improve the website for students and add things. I think
Mhm.
adding this spot for the survey on the student website could be a great way to advertise, get more responses.
Yeah, that would be a great place to put that. Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I might also, I think that survey's still out, right? I might be able to still fill it out and add a comment about that.
Well, and so now it's electronic, so there's a QR code that you can just scan. It's to get the survey. Yeah, that's a perfect place for it. Okay. What's her name?
Jody Hartwig.
Yeah, yep, Jody. Okay, I'll reach out to her.
Perfect. And then I guess we can move on to VP Hashmi and then Senator Villa right after.
Well, first of all, thank you, Kim, for coming today. So a little background on this halal initiative. I've been working on this initiative like since the last 6 months. I reached out like to Sylvia in October of 2024. And then she told me obviously last year they didn't had a GM or something for the kitchen. And then after 3 months of that initial email to Sylvia, Justin reached out to me. He said like they're looking for student conversations and to implement these kind of ideas to the kitchen. I did pass a bill in the Senate like last month, February, or sorry, 2 months, yeah, February. And then what's it called? Yeah, and then so basically I've been working on this like since the last 6 months. I've been reached out by a lot of students on halal food initiative. So we're looking like over the summer to plan for this and potentially by next fall to implement this in the kitchen. Or like.
Well, I think we've got to have some initial conversation.
Okay.
Because like I said, I just got this today from Kai.
Sure.
So after reading it, and I highlighted some things, but we'll have to have an initial conversation.
I did send it to Sylvia. I just want to say that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I just didn't send it to
And-
you,
and-
so that's my bad.
And listen,
Yeah.
she may have sent it to me and I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't recall.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't send it to you, so my bad.
I will say that we do need to have some initial conversation.
Right. Okay.
And there's some other groups too who are asking us
Right.
to sort of specialize some of the menu
Dietary
options.
restrictions.
And we, as I say, we want to do it. There's a lot that goes into that, right? Looking for a vendor, what the cost is, and all those things. But even before we do any of that, we need to have a conversation, just so we're understanding what it is you're asking of from us. I mean, this was great
Right.
written, but I think it's just, it would be
Right.
good to do that in a smaller group, just so we can sort of dialogue about that.
I will definitely reach out to you.
Okay, yep, I'm gonna set up a meeting, okay? I promise.
Definitely, yeah.
And I will say that, we did our town hall at Goodman South, the regional campus town hall, and people at Goodman South also said that, even if it's not for halal reasons, people didn't want to all have like pork options. People wanted alternative to pork. So even for people for non-halal portions of it, I think there would be an audience of folks that
Oh,
would
sure.
purchase food. Yeah, so
Yeah.
just, I can send that,
Yeah.
report to you from our town hall. as
I
well.
will tell you probably 80% of the surveys talked about vegan, and we can do vegan. That was another thing that was difficult to get because it was always sort of the same menu every day. It's the same thing. It's beef stroganoff on Tuesday. We're gonna get away from that. You know, there needs to be other options and not just, just those things. So,
Diane's Delicious Diner, really good. So that's not just sound. Okay, Senator Avila, you had a question?
I don't, but I just want to say thank you for being here with us. Thank you for
Yeah.
actually answer a few questions that we had, and I have participated from the pastry and the food. Amazing, I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to Diane. So
yeah.
thank you.
We need to hear, listen, we hear from the students with the bookstore, we hear from the students with the rental program, and dining shouldn't be any different. It's just that the timing has, people leaving, hiring new staff, sort of getting things settled down. But we're at a good place now that we could start moving forward on some of the things that I had on my agenda when I took over in August of 2022. So
Thank you.
we're ready.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sure, we're gonna go, okay, it'll be Annette first and then Hassan, and then did you have your hand up or you're just pointing to Annette? Okay, so we do have until 5. I don't know how much longer Kim can stay, but
That's okay.
we can try to keep our
That's-
questions timely. We don't
I
want
have
to
to
be
pick up
too
my little
long
grandson,
after.
but
Right, we don't want to leave her grandson.
I don't want to
outside,
not answer
so-
questions.
So let's try to be timely with our question.
I believe you might have been here at the time. This was probably back in 2023. The Rise program did a meal event inside of the Diane's Diner.
Mhm.
And I guess I'm just kind of curious, and I know you probably don't have these numbers off the top of your head, but like how much something like that would cost?
In Diane's Diner?
Yeah, in Diane's Down. It wasn't, I don't think it was the full
Yeah.
menu that they have set up, but it might be something that Senate might be interested in the future.
So Diane's Diner is under the Culinary Arts program. So you would have to
Okay.
reach out to Culinary Arts Bakery and Diane's Diner and the Butcher Shop. That's all part of their program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Mhm.
I just remembered that and it was so good.
I had a quick question. I heard like the kitchen is trying to expand their hours. Is that true?
Yeah, we're gonna expand our hours.
It's from 1 extra hour to 5 PM. Is that
We're gonna go till 4:30.
4:30, okay.
Yeah, and we have a group from the automotive area that they come in about 10 to 4.
Mm.
And so we want to be able to serve them, right? And so they're, either we don't have anything ready for them, it's all gone, or we're closing in 10 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna probably start that in the fall term. But we had to go through, we at one time, we had 8 vacancies, 8. And it's not a big department for the service that it provides. So there's just no way we could do that with 8. But yes, that we're gonna be going to later hours.
VP Jackson Winters will be the final question.
So I don't know, but do you guys have a specific vendor that you work with at the school?
Yeah, we have for food. Yeah, so Ari Golden, Cisco, Fosdale Bakery, Alpha Bakery, and am I missing one? I think that's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you can always message us
Cisco
later. if-
provides a huge amount of service other than just providing us food or ingredients. And so they're phenomenal. They're great. But yeah, those are the ones.
If you ever want to talk about scheduling of food deliveries, Kim knows all about the food delivery schedule too. We had a big conversation about that a long time ago about
Mhm.
bulk ordering
Yeah,
and
yeah.
priority shipping and just with all food. So
Well, another thing that I want to do is, we used to have a garden in the back. But the lady who kept the garden up decided she didn't want to do it anymore, but I'm hoping we can get maybe some new staff that we hire to do the garden. But the other thing I want to do is I want to start working with some local farmers.
I
Right,
think
I mean,
Quinn knows some
we're
people.
spending quite a bit of money And so, if we can find some ways to work with farmers, I would love to do
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to try and get connected with some local farmers. I have a background in food service here in
Mhm.
Madison. And I am also starting Madison College Green Club. I'm working with Armala from the science department.
Mhm.
And we're talking about planting in that garden this summer.
This summer?
Yeah,
The garden in the back?
Yep.
Oh,
I'll be in touch on
yeah.
email.
Oh, that would be great.
Looks
'Cause
like you
there were, a lot of our produce came from that garden. She was really good. She just said she's getting old and she can't do it anymore. But send me an email.
Yeah.
Yeah. we would
Two
love to do
people
that.
you're gonna stay in touch with
absolutely.
right here, and they'll be
Absolutely.
coming back next
Yeah,
year,
we
so.
want to try to do as much local as we can.
Perfect. Well, everyone say thank you to Kim.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, with that, oh, perfect timing. We're staying on schedule. With that, just want to give a chance to welcome. So we have a special guest coming in here. I named the event the Student Senate Hall of Fame, Achieving Campus-Wide Changes for the Student Body, because this person kind of embodies the idea of making community changes happen. Things the students really want to see, improvements to the campus body and the student experience, ways to make Madison College a better place for generations to come after you. So that's why I made sure to invite Tina Marshallek here, former Student Senate President from 2017 to 2018. Actually, is that 2018 to 2019?
2017 to 18.
Oh, it is. Okay. So I corrected it from being wrong before. So now it's correct. And current community relations coordinator at Covering Wisconsin. The big capstone achievement that she had was the textbook rental affordability program, which now has served over $1.4 million in savings to college students. I don't know if you knew the number. I'm sure it's updated from last year's savings. That was about as warm a welcome as you can get, but our new senators here, I thought it'd be really good for you to come in, talk about what your experiences were, some challenges you faced, and what are your favorite parts of, being Student Senate President. We'll just have, a 30-minute yap session about how that all works. So, yeah, if you would, thank you very much.
May I sit where your last guest was?
Yes, perfect.
I'm going to join in on the gang here. Okay, I brought some relics of time past.
The past.
Yes, I didn't come in wearing this because I thought it would be a little bit of a flex, and I'm not trying to insult the president, but I do still have my jacket.
Love it.
And I'm not as skinny as I used to be, so I can't close it all the way, but. Hi, thanks for having me.
And if the new senators, if any of you have a question, do just feel free to raise your hand. We'll lend our voice to you, and then you can ask questions to Tina as well.
Can we get introductions of the new senators, please?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I was gonna do it after, but I guess it makes sense to do it here too. So while you prepare, if all the new senators can just go around the room, introduce yourself. I guess we'll start back there. Just introduce yourself and what you're gonna be next year, and say hello to Tina.
Hello, my name is Andre, and I'm a general. Andrew.
Hey, I'm Jophia, and I'm a retail development.
Hello, I'm Ashley Larson. I'm just gonna be general secretary.
And I never jest. It's, good position.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Corey. I would be General Senate.
Hello, my name is Furkan. I'm from Turkey. I'm an international student and I will be Pittsburgh Senator.
I think there's two people online.
We
Joaquin,
have three, so,
and who's the third?
so it's Joaquin, Nandine, and then, Iman.
Oh, okay.
So Joaquin, would you like to introduce yourself quick?
Guess he's-
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, my name is Joaquin Larriba. I'm from Ecuador, and I'm doing the Goodman South Senator.
Thank you. So Iman,
Hello everyone. My name is Simon, and I'm running for General Senator.
and lastly, Nandine.
Hi, I'm Nandine. You can also call me Nadine, and I'm gonna be a general senator.
Thank you, everyone. Back to you.
Oh, thanks. Is your incoming president here?
Yep, right there too.
Okay, hi, that's awesome. I thought do you want me to share some of the things that I have, or do you want to give your questions to me? And
No, I think you should share a little bit and then everyone will come with all their questions, I'm sure.
Sure, like just an overview, an introduction.
Yeah,
Sure.
whatever you
I'm
like.
Tina. Hi. So I was Senate President 2017 to 18, like Kai mentioned, and the year prior I was a student senator. I was not a VP before I was president, but I was a senator before I was president. I did work on the textbook rental program. The thing when I was the president was really setting it up to get approved. And then once I was no longer president, I had one more semester before I graduated. And I was the campaign manager for the referendum because the WTCS said you need to have a student referendum to approve the textbook rental program because it's a segregated fee and you need student approval for the segregated fee. So I ran a Vote Yes campaign, which I have some that it's just populates. I just find it all the stuff like this all the time. We had stickers. Our slogan was Vote Yes, Spend Less, and the Madison College Textbook Affordability Referendum with a little textbook with a $sign on it. And this was my little brochure. It said Vote Yes for Textbook Affordability, November 1st through 6th. Fun fact, there was some pushback on how I said vote yes and not just vote, but I personally felt that the Student Senate had taken a position on the initiative for about a decade and that it was to be expected that we were going to take a position on which way to vote. But that somebody could have started a vote no campaign and nobody did. Although a lot of people in student life like to joke that they were going to, just to mess with me. And there were intro to logic classes and English classes at the school who took the brochure and like had students analyze it and give feedback on if there were any logical flaws in it. So the heat was on. And I had a little graphic that showed, I don't know if these numbers have changed since then, but about what a student could expect to be paying for textbooks with the program. Based on how many credits you're taking, you should pay a maximum of this cost. So I'll pass these around if people are interested in
Do you mind
taking
if
a look.
we take pictures of those?
No, of course not. No, not at all. I had an FAQ and I had talking points. So key messages. So I assembled a little committee from the Student Senate and I went to the new Student Senate and I said, hey, remember me? Please help and do outreach with me. And these were just commonly asked questions that we got when we were tabling that I put together really for the student leaders, but it sat at the table and it was mostly for faculty. Not a lot of students were picking up a thing like this. It wasn't snazzy and with a cool design, but it was helpful and it just kind of had some of our key topics that were relevant. When I was Senate President, we were mostly working on the adoption policy, which was getting the departments on board with adopting a textbook for a certain period of time so that it could be purchased in bulk so that it could lower costs. That was a bit of an endeavor. There were a lot of people, not a lot, some people who felt that it was infringing upon their academic freedom. So we did have to have some debating around that. I don't know that those people were necessarily wrong, but I think that the urgency of the issue to student retention, the issue of textbook affordability was so significant to student retention that it kind of superseded some of their concerns, especially when there were other avenues they could take to integrate content for free or through other resources, or simply just not requiring students to purchase a whole book. And that ended up, and the provost agreed with me. So I ended up being able to utilize that resource. Another topic that we worked on, or that really started with the Student Senate that I led, was the Student Hunger Initiative. And that started with a student hunger survey. And if you want a gift, I don't have anywhere to put this anymore. It was the hunger survey results that we had sent out to the student body. I don't know if anybody even knows that this existed anymore. But we found that we asked within the last 30 days, did you skip meals because there wasn't enough money for food? And about 63% of students said no, and about 37% said yes. So over a third of students surveyed said yes to that. And the headline here from the Clarion was 1 in 3 respondents say they skip meals due to money. We also asked within the last 30 days, were you able to afford to regularly eat nutritionally balanced meals? And 39% said no. So that initiated some conversations around a food pantry, which guess what you guys have now. And that is not just because we did a student hunger survey. It's because we did a student hunger survey. We actually got local press too with the Cap Times.
I saw that.
It kind of caught fire, which it should have. A lot of people cared about it, and it's a lot easier to work on an initiative when you have support throughout the administration, which we did. And then student senates past us continued to work on this in different ways. They created a food pantry. It sounds like you have a community garden now, which was another thing we wanted. So that made me really happy to hear. But here's another thing. You could keep that in the Senate office if you wanted. I still have my graduation cap. You can see how excited I was.
We're getting, yeah, a lot of us in the room are graduating, so this is, yeah, definitely encouraging to see.
I know one of the things you wanted me to talk about was challenges, and I have a story behind the graduation cap. So our student senate advisor, Jackie Dalkey, who I think is actually, she's supposed to be retired a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now she's actually retired. She had a little foam caution cone in her office. And I'm not sure if shared governance is still set up the way that it was back then, but back then we had the college assembly, and the student affairs council was one of the councils that reported to the college assembly. The student affairs council was responsible for creating that textbook adoption policy that I talked about. And at one point, that concern about academic freedom reached the student affairs council to the point that they said, this is too controversial, we don't want to do it. And I didn't even really hear for certain that they weren't doing it. I heard from different student affairs council members that they were like, they're going to drop it. They're going to drop it. I don't know what we're going to do. So I brought the little foam caution cone to the college assembly meeting as just to kind of, I don't know, add some pizzazz. And when I got to my report, I just put the little caution cone in front of me and I said, I have something controversial that I want to talk about. And then I kind of became known for my caution cone. And I started bringing it whenever I felt like I had something that I was just like, I'm just letting you know. I have something to say here. I gave what I felt was an impassioned plea for just how important the full rental textbook program was and why we needed an adoption policy to get there. And what I said must have been good enough because the Student Affairs Council took back on the issue. I don't know that they had ever formally lost it, but they were at least talking about dropping it. So I took a Martin Luther King quote, which is, "We must substitute courage for caution." I needed something that talked about caution and that talked about having some bravery because, you know, when you're in that college assembly meeting and you have a foam caution cone, your heart's going. And everybody laughed at my graduation because I had a little caution cone on my graduation cap. That's my very long and excited spiel about some of the things that we worked on. You might want one of those.
Jonette, for the first question.
Maybe not really a question. I just learned something. I learned that UW Whitewater has a rental program, so that's amazing to hear. And then just having your citations, your backup data on there, I think that's so important. And I know we've talked about that before in the past in Senate. So I just want to say as a whole, let's all remember that because it's really important when people go and fact check on this.
Absolutely.
Can you just explain what a PIRG is? Public Interest
Research Group.
Research Group?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't think we've had that at Madison College for the last, that I know of.
Well, it's not like a school specific thing. It's like
Okay.
there's a national group called that has a student public interest research group. There's
Oh.
also a Wisconsin public interest research group.
Okay.
They write briefs on different issue campaigns, and one of them at one point was textbook affordability.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't aware of these things.
You have a question online.
And then I'll go to.
Lando.
Hello, thank you so much for being here. So my name is Senator Dirks. I'm the communications coordinator. I'm not sure if that was around when you were in. I think Sean Green introduced that in 2020. So, but yeah, essentially I'm in this position that probably didn't exist while you were there. And so it's been really cool to experiment and try different things, think up initiatives. And so currently it was the end of last semester, actually. I was in a finance committee meeting. We were discussing, potential initiatives for the future that could be, big, like the textbook rental program and the food pantry. And the one that I came up with was a parking initiative. And so essentially, you know, we just started brainstorming ideas throughout the semester at our in our public safety advisory committee. And so essentially that's sort of a bigger initiative that I think could go somewhere. And so what it would do, initially we were thinking, you know, students would pay a little extra for spots closer to the building, and we would determine, you know, we'd determine based on need, you know, like figuring out like who to, I guess, prioritize in the event that the spots get taken up. But essentially, we've just been brainstorming a lot, trying to find the best ways of implementing such a big initiative. And we're thinking it's going to take a few years to actually get off the ground. But would you have any advice for someone trying to tackle a big initiative like you did?
I have a lot of advice for tackling initiatives in general. With parking, so I think that the most important thing to do when you're trying to start an initiative on campus is, one, to demonstrate the student support for what you're doing, and two, to use that to gather support from faculty and the administration and staff around campus. I think parking is a really difficult one to accomplish that with because it's overheard, because people have been talking about this kind of stuff since before I was Senate president. So I think if you can get like documented student feedback that specifically supports this idea, and you could show that to people who you think may be supportive of the idea and work through the shared governance system. I don't know if it still works the same way that it used to, and through administrators, that's probably your best bet for getting people excited about it. And then you have to keep people accountable, and you have to remind people about the importance of it to keep it on the table. Like the idea with the caution cone, we could have very easily not had a rental program because they could have just dropped the adoption policy that day if I hadn't, you know, said something. So there is an ongoing process to like keeping people on track with the idea, but you need to like garner that excitement first. And parking's a tough one to do that with.
Thank you for that.
Thank you,
next up was Senator Avila, and then I'm going to bring up something I found very important in language here, but you were first, so.
Yeah, so my name is Daniel. Thank you for being with us and sharing your experience. So you say when you were doing the WTC, they request additional paperwork, or so can you elaborate how do you manage to overcome the setbacks that you find when you were trying to impose, you know, trying to share the idea of the rental textbooks?
Specifically with the WTCS requirement?
And the staff, how did you manage the whole conversation? How did you modify your approach, your intent, and how do you actually now we got ChatGPT. Let me tell you, ChatGPT is amazing.
That's crazy.
It is. It would add that middle person from the research. That's why. How did you did it? How did you modify? How did you navigate through it to be able to actually fulfill what we have today?
I guess when you're dealing with a bureaucratic system, you need to be willing to navigate it, and you need to try to simplify it without making people angry. For an example, with the WTCS requirement to have a student referendum, we just needed to have a student referendum. I wasn't going to be able to convince them not to. And we did it. You know, how hard is it to have students vote yes on a full rental textbook program when it was, you know, so black and white? There are times, not just in Student Senate, but, you know, working throughout bureaucratic processes in life and in professional life, that you will come across bureaucratic processes that it's not there to protect people. It's kind of useless, or it can be a stopgap to get you from where you need to be. And sometimes you need to go around it. And when you do that, you just have to be as diplomatic as you can possibly be and show your good intentions to people, and be as transparent as you can. I do remember when I was Senate president that I often observed little things here and there that I've kept with me my whole life little language differences make a big difference on how you're perceived. Like I learned, I never called something an issue or a problem. I said it was a challenge. And all of a sudden people are like, yeah, a challenge. It made them want to work with me. If I said it was an issue, they kind of felt like I was just giving them something and expecting them to do something about it. And to that point, I think that that's important too. Showing I'm not just giving you a problem and expecting you to do something. I have ideas. I'm willing to work with you. I'm bringing it to you because I want to collaborate and I'm going to do my part too.
Thank you very much. So I do see some hands up here, but I wanted to turn it to people outside first. Since they are the new folks, I want to give them priority to ask questions. If you had any, Jatina, because this is your opportunity. This is a legend around Madison College. So if you wanted to ask anything, go for it. If not, no worries. Our senators are seasoned with question asking, so.
I'll just comment.
Yeah.
That was very well put. I love how you switched up the words. I feel that words are very important, how you use them as well. So changing the issue to a challenge, I can see how that inspires people that actually together as a team.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I think I see inklings. Yeah. I'm gonna encourage you.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment. I really truly respect the amount of effort that you put in and the stick-to-itiveness. Just, I know that at times it was most likely just very frustrating to just navigate through and, navigating challenges like that. Sometimes we kind of feel alone or that we are just up against hardest battles, but I'm really happy that you circumnavigated it and just trying to navigate through your system. It's very challenging system to tackle, but it's our government. So I really appreciate you making the headway there. Just out of it's sad in a way, but a textbook now is like $60, one textbook. So that's for one class. So if you were to pay for like a textbook, it's just one. So by looking at your graph and just seeing how effective inflation has like charged us immensely, your rental program has saved us so much money, so much money.
Oh, you're saying to buy?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, prices went up that much for this program. I was gonna say, it sounds like you guys need to make sure that it's still affordable.
That's actually next year, that's gonna be up to Senate to talk about, so, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But if people were left to buy the book and or urged to buy the book, I mean, just one book now costs like $60. So don't misplace your books. Take care of them.
Yep. Thank you for doing this best thing for our school. And I think we should improve something in rental program. In our Senate time, we can improve. So it was the last semester and I dropped my books. I want to drop my books deadlines 7 p.m. And when I go to Pittsburgh campus, one of them Senate there, they were closed. So I pay late fee, I think $20 to $30 for each book. So I think what she did is perfect, and what we can do, we can at least do lesser the punishment because this is basically punishment. Okay, I late 5 hours, 4 hours, and now I need to pay extra $100. Book already $60, and I pay 20, 30 late fee. And I think we should figure this out together.
Definitely something to talk about next year. I think that's everything from everyone over there. I think I saw a few people. So I think I saw Quinn first, then Nevaeh, then you didn't put your hand up. Then I saw Nevaeh, now Evan, and is there someone online?
No.
I don't see anyone online. Okay, so we'll do Nevaeh and then Evan.
I guess my question for you is,
You.
what advice would you give to the new senators and for the old senators, I guess who are exiting out? What would be something that we should like take away, like, and kind of apply it to like the real world in some ways, if that makes sense?
Sure. Honestly, as somebody who was both a senator and a president, the first thing in my head was do your office hours, join your committees. No offense. I don't know how many of you do that, how many don't. But yeah, I would stick with it, I think is my first thought. Retention on the Senate can be a big issue. And then leadership, instead of focusing on new initiatives that they can work on and what feedback they have from students, have to focus on recruiting the Senate over and over and over again. So the more reliable the senators are, the more the leadership can lead instead of focusing on recruitment. In application to the real world, I think what I mentioned before about language, that often helps me, or that is something that has helped me. I learned on those different college councils and committees, I learned how different things are perceived by people, and I apply that every day in my life. Also, one pro to going to Madison College, especially if you're about to transfer, is it's a lot easier to get your foot in the door with student involvement opportunities, and you can pad your resume with that, including for a transfer application. Versus once I got to UW-Madison, they're not even getting to this level until they're in their junior year, a lot of people. And you can be the Senate president somewhat easily. Oh, I meant to bring my campaign literature with me. Didn't. Sorry. It's an old piece of paper that needs to be laminated or something. Is that helpful?
Yes.
I'm sure you can bring it back next year.
Yeah.
We have 3 more questions, so it'll come from Evan, Hassan, and then I'll be the final one because there's something about this I really want to ask. So, and I want to respect your time. So if you want to make sure it's concise.
Yeah.
Aw.
So this is a little bit unrelated to Student Senate, I guess, but I'm just curious what you work in as a career field, just because I think you're extremely brilliant and extremely articulate in the issues that you talk about and care about. So
You guys are so nice. Okay, I'm like, my Senate was mean to me compared to this. Anyway, so now I'm the community relations coordinator for Covering Wisconsin, which is a UW extension program that helps people with health insurance, which, thank you for this segue. I may or may not have brought some things relevant to that. So I do a lot of our health insurance literacy. I started out as a health insurance navigator, which is working individually with people and helping them sign up for coverage on the marketplace or healthcare.gov, where you go if you don't qualify for Badger Care and you don't have health insurance available from a job, whether that's a spouse's job, your job, or a parent's job. And actually, I did office hours at Madison College in the health building when I was a navigator. Yeah. So I know that it's an important issue to your student body because I help people every week with helping them sign up for health insurance and figuring out their options. And I happen to know it's important because when I was student senate president, guess what I didn't have? Health insurance. Yeah. And I'm willing to bet that someone in here doesn't have it too, because it's just such a convoluted, the systems are impossible to navigate if you're not familiar with them already. That's why I have a job for now. Sorry. We are federally funded, or we have 75% of our budget funded by a federal grant, which is getting cut. But we'll see. Our program still exists. We are here. We are here to help. I have many different resources that could be useful for you folks if you were interested in using them. I have a how-to sheet that goes over understanding health insurance costs. I teach a lot of people what a deductible is. Does anybody not know? Yeah, so a deductible is the amount that you pay before the insurance company starts paying a share of their costs or starts paying a share of the costs. There are some exceptions to that. Sometimes you can get a plan where you have what are called co-payments before the deductible. In that case, you might have a flat fee without having to pay into your deductible. But you could have a plan that has like a $1,000 deductible that doesn't have co-payments before the deductible, and then you have to pay $1,000 before the insurance company starts paying a share of the costs.
It's like learning another language for me.
Yes, it is. It is another language. So you could keep these in the student senate office and put them in your 5-year plan as an important initiative for
Did you used to have 5-year plans? We've shrunk it down to 3 since, so.
Sorry.
Wow.
I'm just being happy. I have my business cards for my real job. I have business cards for Covering Wisconsin in general. Yeah, this isn't my real job. So I'm just talking about what I did in college. Although this justifies me leaving work early to come here. I have some Covering Wisconsin swag. Yeah. It never stopped. I've just been the exact same person all this time. This is how I was when these are calculators. This is how I was when I was Senate president too. Yeah, that's what I do now.
Yes, I do know the timing is,
Yeah, I think we're over time and I know you have an ambitious.
just a little
agenda.
bit. Yeah, we have two more
Yeah,
questions.
please do.
Yeah, take a look. Two more questions, one from me, one from Hassan. Hassan, do you wanna? Oh.
At the end of April, we already did, but,
So Annette, you can talk after the, we just get her.
Feel free to reach out. Yes,
Yeah.
happy to connect. Yep.
we weren't talking, it was just FYI.
Well, it's more like we can't, yeah. Yeah.
I got what I needed. Oh, and this.
Gavel's gonna come out.
Don't get me. Can I get one of those?
Hey, Kyle. You connected Declan with Tina.
Yes, I can definitely connect to anyone with Tina afterwards. Fun fact, while they're wrapping some stuff up there, I met Tina while at my tax internship working alongside a person that she knows, so. Okay, if you would like to answer Hassan's question, and we have one more question related to referendum.
Yeah, I have a question, continue on to Evan's question. What's next for you? Are you gonna be the governor or mayor or something?
Very nice of you to ask. I would love to continue in my current role. The work that we do is really important and it sticks with me because, I went years and years without having health insurance. And being Senate president, I worked myself sick. It's a stressful job. Get some support. I don't know how Kai did tax season and was Senate president and a student. I don't know if you've all heard this context.
I was president of WSG. I was on their budget work group. I was.
I don't know.
Tax season.
I don't know if they know the context. Kai interned with my partner's accounting firm, and that is how we met at the tax kickoff event.
Mhm.
And I saw his WSG name tag and went, "Is that what I think it is?" And we made that connection, which was cool. But it's a tough job.
And then I wanted TV. That was the best part.
So I guess I should have a grand answer for you, but I don't entirely know due to our current climate. Public service is a difficult occupation to be in right now. It's also a difficult time to be a student right now. So I'll figure it out.
And our last question, it really does tie back to everything that you used to do, and because it's coming up now. Next year, Kim Henderson, who's also in charge of the bookstore, wanted to look at the textbook rental program and see if we can incorporate more books into it. That would actually trigger a more than 3% fee. And I actually would like to see the referendum language, because what I'm reading here is, as outlined in the referendum language, any future fee adjustments exceeding 3% will be approved by student senate. So that's probably why she was coming to us. I just didn't know she had to. So I didn't know that we were I thought we were just giving input. I didn't know that the language mandated that we get to approve it because I haven't seen the language. So if I knew
think
that.
you are supposed to approve it.
Yeah, so if you could send that language our way, I think that'd be very good. And we can definitely talk after, because I'm sure
No
that.
tango.
Yeah.
I don't have that stuff anymore.
Oh, you don't. So you will have to do some research. I'm sure
Maybe
Doug
talk to Mark Thomas.
Kirkford, Mark Thomas,
Yeah.
those two people are probably the best place to start. So I will do some archival research. That's part of being president as well.
Sure.
So.
If you want to keep those talking points,
I do.
yeah, you can show, I actually just met Tina and she showed me this and I didn't realize, then she doesn't have the original stuff anymore.
Mhm. Okay, well, thank you very much. And to end this off, I feel like to officially call it off, we should give you the gavel back and you can
One more time.
one last time.
Yes.
I do actually have a personalized gavel that my parliamentarian gave me, and I was going to bring it, and then I thought that's too much of a flex. They don't want me to sit there with it.
You can take a solo picture and then I'll get in there with you. Good measure.
Well, I'm not actually going to implement Robert's rules here, right?
It wouldn't be
Are you
legal
actually
Robert's
handing me
rules,
the gavel?
but
I'm not a part of this
sure.
body.
It's for
Public
photos,
comment.
yeah.
Where are you on your agenda?
We are on public comment, the second
Yeah.
portion of public comment.
Oh, are these minutes?
Those are
Yes.
minutes, these are the agenda for this one, so.
Okay.
But just
Well,
for the
then-
picture,
Sure.
then I'll get in there with Lydia, so.
Right, guys.
Okay, now you can bless.
Point of order.
Thank you so much for coming today. Clearly, everyone really appreciated it. I think you brought a lot of a lot of hope for the next incoming Senate. So that's why I really wanted to invite you back. And we're definitely gonna use this as a guide. So I'll probably retype this out and, well, honestly, I could just take some pictures and.
And you know, in my career, I just reiterate all this same stuff. Like I just created talking points and key messages for supporting mixed status families with health insurance. That these types of things are just, it's issue campaigning. Okay, thank you. I know you have an ambitious agenda today. Very kind of you to invite me. Oh, this is getting.
Then this back to you, because I took photos of all of it. I'll have to transcribe it, and I want you to keep the original source, so
Great.
that'll be on us to do. But thank you. Okay, with that, Cole is back. Nope, that's not Cole. Oh, you just get another title. Well, I wish you were here to pull out the team building activity, but I think I can show, oh, there he is. Cole, I think I'll pull the team building activity. I'll come up there with you and then explain how it all works.
Perfect.
So this is the part where we get to have some fun. We don't have too much fun because then we wouldn't get through everything, but we're gonna have some fun. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you.
I'm gonna share our entire screen. Nope.
We have a hand up.
We have a handout.
I thought it was Declan's hand up.
A team building handout.
Who's waving? Okay, this is our little game here. So Nate, you can come up. No, Haya. So this is our word connection game. So how do I share my full screen? Slideshow?
Yes.
There we go. So there's a game here. And the way it works is that we're gonna split you into teams. I think we're gonna do new Senate. We're gonna do old Senate. We're gonna take some people from old Senate to give over to new Senate. So it'll be Jose, Evan, and Quinn, between some of them and Angel, to some of them over there, to balance some of the sides.
And that.
And Annette, sorry, I keep thinking you're graduating, which you are.
Well, I am graduating.
Yeah, but yeah, so we'll try and split the teams up and the online will be there too. The goal of the game is to identify pairs. And you pick 2 words and find the connection between them. 4 words will make some sort of connection. So these 4 words here are examples of words that do what? Can you think of it?
Position.
Oh, cards.
Right, these are types of cards. So like king, queen, joker, and ace are all like the types of cards that you get in a playing card deck. So those are the types of connections that you can get. So I think what we should do now is, how should we split them?
I mean, the order is split, so
Like
from
11?
Asan back there,
We want to do it like that.
yeah, that would be one.
Maybe we can like, okay, wait.
That would be too much movement.
Well, because
From Asan.
inner and outer, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You move 2 people over from old Senate to new Senate. Who from the new Senate wants to come over?
No, move 3 people back there so there's no.
They want to come to this side?
Yeah.
Sure, we can do that. Okay, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, what was the number? Why is this hard?
You guys ever heard about that thing from elementary school where we can count off?
One,
Yeah.
2, 1.
Sure, that's why I'm not
Getting
teaching
too long.
elementary.
16 people in your room.
Okay,
that'd be
so
1,
8 and
2,
8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
Okay, listen.
one back there come to that side with Asan and Jilang and you guys, that would be
Okay.
8 people. And you guys back there, that would be 8 people.
Perfect. That's why you're team development and I am not. Okay, so get with your team. There'll be 3 teams. It'll be online. It'll be.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Where you guys are here.
Okay, we're right here?
Yeah, so this will be your side.
Right here? Okay,
Here.
we're good.
And then we join you. And you guys back over there.
Okay. All right. Cool.
You wanna take?
Yeah, winning team over here.
Oh, absolutely.
So I hope you're ready to play a game. So, yeah, we'll get to see some of the connections and stuff like that, but how do we go first? Like, so them, and then online? Yeah. Should we give online the first go since we're kind of. With all people get the.
So they move,
Online.
they
Yeah, no, it's. Okay, so online will go first. and then-
No, I would say
Is there a surprise if they, if we win, they lose?
You won't get a laser point in your eye.
Sounds like a win.
Actually, let's go to people know first, so the online people can see how it's working and then they can.
Okay.
Where it's coming from.
So we just.
So them, then online, and then them.
Who wanna go first?
I think I just saw anything. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay, so we're gonna go. So this is your next screen. You'll have, so let me first, let's see, we'll give you how many seconds?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Oh, I feel like that's so long.
No. 10.
15? No, you know that? Okay, wait, how do I?
What
No, timer?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
10
Yeah.
seconds?
Yes.
Okay,
So,
next
so the
team.
rules are simple.
Yeah. You find words that are associated. Find 2 words that are associated. We'll tell you if they are or not.
Gotcha.
Okay, you ready?
We are.
3, 2, 1, go. You have 10 seconds.
What?
Come on, take a breath, guys, take a breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't find words that are
Soap and
connected.
candle.
Jellyfish. Oh, sorry, your time's up. So what do you?
Oh, wow.
This is a fun game.
Okay.
You know what the 2 words? Pick 2 words that are connected.
Oh, I was trying to combine all of them.
No, we
Okay,
can't. We gotta
This is
decide.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have someone that is opposite to like cards, right? So you have to find like, okay, king and queen, you know, like cards.
I mean, but it could be chess too, where you gotta put it.
Yeah.
But the Joker and the Ace make it cards.
Right, so you're analyzing the 4 cards to
Yep.
make that.
Yep, and there's all 16, so it's mixed up,
So
so.
all 16s are together.
No,
Yes.
there's 4 sets of 4.
There's 4 sets
4
of
sets of
4.
4,
Yes,
so you
that
can
would be
find a
4.
pair. Find a pair that works.
So this, so 4.
So are you ready?
So we're looking for 4 words that are combined that will actually
Wait, do
give
they
us
get
the
the same
actual,
screen as the
But we only
words?
get
or
a pair.
whatever.
Oh my God.
Okay. So I'll give you another 10
Strong guys.
seconds.
We're looking for 4
Okay.
No.
Well, you get the chance of looking at it while they're looking at it.
So
So,
we
yeah,
got like.
that's their downfall. You can start, are you ready?
Yes, yes, we're gonna have.
Are you ready?
4 Of the 16.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, you have 10 seconds.
Wrong. Cider.
Yeah. Blind and wrong.
What did you go?
We got
Beer, cider, rum, wine.
There you go.
Oh, okay, well, thank you for helping out that team. So you just kind of,
I mean, but he actually mentioned it, he actually, right?
No, that's okay, when they were playing,
You weren't playing?
oh, well, no, but they went first on your side, so if you wanted to use that as your answer, you can. Yeah, go for it. You did. Cool, good job. Great, you got points. Now we
Say
know.
nothing.
You're the MVP of this team. You're the MVP of the other team, Declan. Good job. Oh, was it Declan? Wait, so.
It's for just scrapping for words.
Was that, yeah, that was
RT's turn.
Okay, yeah, you get a point. Okay, who gets a point? Who's next?
I called that.
What they.
You know how this works, right? How does that go?
What do people online say?
What is?
This is soap and lotions.
So what's your final answer? You have 10 seconds, someone put a final answer. Who's your team leading?
Doesn't matter actually.
Online?
Okay, someone speak up and say something. Yeah, someone online, be your final answer. Yeah,
Insult.
Dylan, say something.
We have a couple
Insult.
things repeated. Insult. There are a couple things that
Sorry?
are repeated. Wasp, jellyfish, things that sting.
Pick 2.
There you go.
What did you say?
She said jellyfish and wasp.
He picked all 4. That was the secret game. You can put them all together now. You picked out all 4. They're connected. So they're connected like that. Yeah, things that sting. That's correct. Yeah.
But not
You
only
get
that,
all
but
4 now.
thorns do too, yeah.
But yeah, no, you can't keep going. So that's that turn. But you got the things that sting. So that was jellyfish, insult, thorn, and wasp. They all sting.
Nice.
Because insults can sting too. It's
Fair
mental
job.
damage. I wish there was a way. I know. Oh, there is a way we can remove it actually.
Did I speak out of turn or what?
No, this was mean.
We get like a minute now to look at it, but we only had 10 seconds.
I'm gonna give that's because you went first.
We're gonna keep it. Those rules are really vague.
That's the fun of the game. What was the last one?
Wanna write it down?
Okay, now what is yours?
Can we just name the last two categories, or are we only allowed?
If you did them all four, you get.
Oh, okay, yeah, so then it's Duke, Brown, Howard, and Smith are all last names, and then Candle, Soap.
Oh, you can't do more than that.
Wait, hi, we already called rum and wine.
Oh, so they're calling, they called, sorry, they called Howard? You called Smith? What was the other two?
Brown and Duke.
Yeah, that's correct. So they get the 4 points there. Oh, we can add zeros to it.
You know how we got
You guys 1 point. Yeah, there's another one over there. So they can do the other. Okay, we'll pass it back to you.
Wait, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
We called the beer, what was it? Cider, rum and wine.
Oh, did you put all four together?
And they're all drinks.
Did you put them all together earlier? Sorry, I didn't hear that then.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then these are the last four, so, well, I guess it goes to them since,
No, they're already done, they're already done. They're
Well, no,
already
but
done.
if you're saying that you got that, then it would go to them by default.
Oh.
Yeah, wouldn't it? They would have finished it out.
I think it's soap and lotion, right?
Yeah,
So
so
we got the
the
last
things that
one,
are.
guys. Check the chat.
And then.
Yeah, but we can just move to the next one. So who won this round?
I think I got those things.
I think that team won because of the last
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's okay. There we go.
You wanna take a picture?
So.
Was this
Oh,
fun?
you did?
Fun.
I wanna know.
Probably fun to an outside observer.
I mean, since you guys know, next time it's going to really be like.
Next time, that was the test, really.
Okay.
So, yeah.
The next time it's going to be the 10 second and then we will just.
So do you want to go, so the winner is the last round. You want to go first or last?
Just 1 second, let me just.
I mean, we can.
No. They get all of them. If they get all of them, they can win in one go. So we can name all of them.
Let's do it.
You can.
All right, yeah, let's go for it.
You only need two. I didn't know you named all four.
Let's do 5 seconds.
5 seconds?
Yeah.
The rules are
Yeah.
changed.
I know. That's great.
No, you guys have 10 seconds to watch earlier, and when you guys have 5 seconds, then know all of the words. So do 5.
Sure, let's do
5 seconds, okay?
Five.
Yeah, yes.
You need to. So, wait. Are you going first? Okay. So I'm gonna
Just a
go
little
first.
advantage.
It'll go online and then it'll go back here. So online people, get ready. You'll
Don't
have
say
five-
nothing yet, Okay,
So find 4 that are connected. We'll tell you if it's right or not.
5 seconds, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Okay, 5 seconds starting now.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Sprite.
Which one is it?
So, wait, you got it.
Oh, put it on.
There you go.
If I put it back, the other people will see that.
No, it's
Oh,
okay. They can't. You're not taking
photos of
Well, now we've already seen it.
I think it's good like that.
Barbarian
Car, horse, scooter, skateboard. What's the connection?
All those things.
Hey,
Okay, yes, that works. Okay, next one.
I like to play Wizard and Barbarian.
Yeah, that's correct. What's the connection?
I can't wash.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that works. You have another?
Oh, nice. No. I only have 5 seconds, they're going to win everything.
Okay, I guess your time, oh, you didn't finish it before the end. Okay.
Oh.
You didn't finish the last one.
If I can tell you what all 4 of them right now with it off the screen, can we still get it?
No,
Yeah, I think.
we'll go to online.
Let me take it.
Yeah, take some out. Force.
Hey, listen, the cinnamon.
Share palette. I know, right? Wizard.
Yeah, so
skateboard.
Okay.
Scooter.
Oh, wow.
Car.
See, I think those words should have all had.
Okay.
Maybe online, right?
Oh, Ruby Rose Tree.
You're making it easier for them by deleting it.
Well, we'll work out the kinks of the game next time. Okay, are you ready, online crew? John looks ready. Okay.
I was going
Everyone
that way.
online,
Let's go.
Contract right now. What's the next connection?
Time is up.
Paladin,
Time's up.
Paladin, Cleric, Barbarian,
gone.
and Wizard.
Are you ready?
What?
Someone else already called it.
No, he took a screenshot of it.
Should we do the all red or all food?
Yeah.
Or both?
Wanna call it?
Both, okay. All red, all.
Can we do both?
Yeah, both.
No, call it first.
5 seconds.
5 seconds, say it now or lose your turn.
Okay.
Ruby,
onion,
rose,
celery,
cherry, and
lobster, cherry,
lobster.
foods, but also Ruby, rose, cherry,
Yes,
and
Ruby
lobster are
Rose,
all
Cherry
red.
Lobster. What's the connection?
All red.
Yeah, they're all red.
Okay.
So what's the last 4?
No, they're done.
Okay.
Plain, everything cinnamon. They're all bagels. They're all kinds of bagels. All kinds of bagels.
Lobster's a bagel.
They're all kinds of bagels. That's right.
Everything.
Onion bagel. I love the flavor. I went to the grocery store, there was onion flavored bagel.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. Okay,
Everything
so
big
clearly I
goes
need to
straight
plan
the
more
plate, goes to the
keywords.
best.
Maybe there could be a new slide for each turn.
Maybe every team gets one slide and you have to like figure one out per turn.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it should be.
Yeah.
So in the future, we now have a template so that you can play this next year and it won't be chaotic. But was this fun generally, even though we had to work on some of the rules?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be a thing in the future that next year.
So who won? I'm confused.
Well, the right there.
Oh, I mean, that's a team I said.
We got a stat. Team online. Team online is a
wins.
flower, so you're very beautiful and fragrant. Team Annette is questioning life, question mark. No.
We won.
I don't know, you know, in some ways, didn't we all win?
Yeah.
No, not even remotely. I feel like everyone lost.
I think if you had fun, then you won, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll work on this for next year.
Thank you.
And we'll get something done. And oh no, I need to redo this. Hold on. I think anyway, just don't save and it'll come back.
I really hope you're feeling.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for breaking things up because there's a lot to discuss today. So we just wanted to do some little game.
Gets to do the viewing minute.
Okay, now we're back. Okay, let's get to business. Evan, you're up. Do you have that PowerPoint ready? It's in the SharePoint.
But I was up first.
I was gonna say, actually, I'm not, it's like new senator organizations.
Oh, yes, sorry. That's my bad.
No, you're all good. Ready? Yep, so I'll pull that up here quick. So, to everybody in the room, I appreciate y'all for being here, and to our new Senate folks. You've been getting a lot of emails from me. You're probably wondering, when am I gonna stop sending you emails? And the answer is never. Never. But I wanted to give you a rundown of what you need to know about Student Senate for these last couple of weeks. Truth be told, we will not kick off what we're doing with Senate until May 22nd. That is the first official Senate General Assembly meeting that you all have been invited to. That's when we're gonna really start kind of diving in on everything. I'm trying to make sure if there's folks online. For the folks online, if you need me to clarify anything, let me know. But this is your brief overview. This is not all-encompassing training. You'll actually get all of that information as we are redoing every single training module that we have for Senate for you to see. So let's talk about important dates, the swearing-in ceremony, expectations, paperwork, and the summer schedule. So first we need to talk about what is Senate. You all were selected by your peers during the election process. So I don't think I'm understanding this when I say the students propose you to represent them. That's what encompasses the mission statement that is Student Senate, that we will go on ahead, represent all students enrolled for credit in post-high school division campuses across all the boards. And what's kind of been our slang, the slang term that we have for it is, we're gonna make your voice heard. That is what we're going to do. So one thing, if you're gonna do anything, even if you find that you don't like Senate and you hate me, please continue to put students first. That is why you're here. And nothing is going to supersede that as we work through the year. And anybody else on the Senate here will tell you the same thing. It's always been what's going to benefit the students first. That's how we operate. So let's talk about the swearing in ceremony. Now, everyone who's currently a part of Senate, you're invited. Please show up. Everybody who's new to Senate, you're invited. You should show up. I'm assuming that you're going to be there in person unless you tell me you're not going to be. That's what my email stated. That's how I'm operating. So if you cannot be there next Thursday, May 8th at 4:30 p.m. in D1630 BC, you need to tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you're there because we are going to be recognizing everybody, both who's currently on Senate, who's leaving Senate, who's graduating, and swearing in all of you all. So if you're not going to be there, I need to know that so we can adjust accordingly because it's going to be really awkward when we swear in somebody and they don't show up. Just makes kind of an awkward situation. And our interim president will be there, and I can make, funny faces at him when this happens. But I don't think Tim Casper wants that. So please be there. Here's how everything's going to run for this meeting. First off, it's going to be in the new business section. So we are going to operate this Senate meeting in a quasi format that's going to be quicker. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to have our general introduction for Senate. Being that we are having a meeting here, we will briefly need to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. That will need to be done per meeting laws. We won't really have an agenda per se for it. We'll kind of have a little schedule of events. I got approval from Director Ellie Rome about that, just to kind of help stuff keep moving on forward. Then we will have standard reports from the outgoing executive team. So for our president, Kai, and then all of our VPs, you will all get 2 minutes to kind of do your, hey, I appreciate you all, your final remarks to send off. And I really want you to do that. I want you to take time to think what you want to say because this is our last time to recognize you as well. And I think it would be great for us to be able to recognize each other. So you all get 2 minutes. Think about it now. If you don't use the full 2 minutes, that's totally okay, but you will be given 2 minutes to come up and speak. Once we are done with those reports, we'll go into the swearing in process. I have this explained here, and by the way, you're all going to get a very detailed email about this. So if you're like, I can't read this now, Cole, I can't either. So that's where I'm going to send you this email, and it'll be very clear and concise of what to do. But what will happen is Kai will go on ahead and swear in our incoming president, Jose. Once Jose has been sworn in, Jose will then swear in all of our vice presidents. Once that is set, can't be here today, but Bradley Burt, who is our incoming vice president of legislative affairs, he will then swear in all general senators. What I've been asking you all, if I'm unsure about it, is asking you the pronunciation of your name because we do want to pronounce that correctly when you're up in front of the camera. This is being recorded. It's going to be available to anyone and everyone. So if you have family that doesn't live within the state or within the country and you want them to see this, they can. So you want to make sure we say that appropriately. So if I'm coming up to you last second being like, hey, am I saying this correctly? I need you to tell me yes or no, not because I need to be corrected, but because I need to coordinate with other folks as well that we're saying this appropriately. Once each section is kind of sworn in, so when the president is sworn in, Jose will assume his role as president. Once all the VPs are sworn in, the VPs will then come to the head of the table where the current VPs will then depart. And then all of our general senators, you will then depart as the new senators are being sworn in as well. So it'll be kind of just one fall swoop as we go. One group will be sworn in, then we'll cycle through everything like that. This should take no more than 45 minutes. I scheduled this for 2 hours because you just never know. Then at the time, you'll have some paperwork to sign. You'll get a fun binder from me. Don't worry about that. I'll explain what that's going to be. I've already pre-filled out 99% of it. I just need your signature. So you don't have to worry about much. We will have food present. So please eat some food. And do know once everything is done, we will be taking photos. So please plan accordingly for an extra 15-ish minutes for us to get a group photo and get photos together so that we can start that for our marketing material for the 64th Senate. Once swearing is done, Jose will then kind of continue with the meeting and we'll basically close out. There's really nothing else left to it. Maybe some final remarks as we do have our Vice President of Student Affairs will be speaking, as well as I believe our interim president will be speaking as well. I just haven't had that confirmed yet, but Tim has spoken at this past, kind of understanding, so we will set time aside. Any questions about the swearing in ceremony? Corey?
Just first off, just with the food.
Yes.
Because I have allergy to gluten.
Okay.
So anything wheat. So I'm just off of the top of your head, do you know that there's gonna be anything like in terms of like wheat friendly like options?
The number one, the only thing I ordered that wasn't like fruits, vegetables, or any type of sweet was buffalo chicken dip. And there's pita chips that come with that. I don't know if that coincides with it.
Yeah.
I'll ask dining services, but we just got something that was really simple from last year. But I'll check into that and I'll let you know. But we will have fruits and vegetables as well, just available. Really, it's Finger Foods. It's not like a full sit-down menu. But I appreciate you bringing that up. I'll look into that. Hassan?
Do we have the new president, Jennifer, I believe? Is she's gonna be there?
We were gonna try to. What I've been told is she's not necessarily available till July because Doug and the Clarion was also trying to coordinate something with them, and it just wasn't happening. So I don't believe that is going to occur, but stranger things have happened.
Well, we can ask.
Yes.
Should probably say no.
Any other questions?
I don't think she's gonna be, or sorry, not,
What's up?
I don't think she's gonna be there. I can't remember where I heard it from, but I heard that her, she has a family commitment and
Yeah.
a child that's getting married.
From basically, all I want you to do is show up. We'll do the rest. So that's all I'm gonna ask of you. So that is our swearing in ceremony. You'll see when you enter into the space how it looks. It's gonna be set up really easy. You'll see where the podium is. You'll see where we swear everybody in. Oh, and last thing I was gonna state is for general senators, we will swear you in by last name alphabetically. So we will start with Ayman, and then we will end with, I think, Burkhan. You are our last individual. So we will go in that order as well. That'll be in the email I sent to you. Hassan?
Just a quick comment. It's gonna be set up like just like this, and there's gonna be guests in the back. And there's gonna be a podium where it's just like.
Correct. The difference this time is that the head table that all the VPs will sit at will be facing the crowd. Sean had set it up backwards last time, so we've corrected that now. So you'll be facing the crowd, so you'll see everybody. Whereas before, the backs were to everybody.
So the president will be standing at the podium?
Yeah, so the president will be by the podium with the screen behind them, seeing everybody. And that actually gets you in the video. Good question. Corey?
What is appropriate attire
Whatever you want.
ceremony?
I support you, whatever it is you want to wear. But
I would say that people have worn business formal. You don't need to, but something nice is generally good to wear.
No inflatable dinosaur costumes?
You know what?
I
I can't
love this
stop
idea.
you yet doing that. I do not encourage that.
Boring it.
Make sure you wear something.
so
Yes, there is school policies dictating that you must wear a thing, so.
Just say something.
Something.
So I just wanted to have this up here for expectations of a senator. I just wanted to have this present so I could quick hit on a couple of things. This is including the training you're going to have, so you don't need to know this right now. But I think it's important just to have it up there. The biggest thing to note is that you need to do your training. All VPs and president, you all have your own trainings you're going to accomplish on top of the general senator training that I completed yesterday. It's going to take you a hot minute to do that. But the point is, like, we really want to make sure that we're all educated to the best of our ability on the process. I'm new with this year. I started basically 1 year in the next 2 weeks. It'd be here for a year. I learned alongside Kai and many others. Kai had more experience than for that. I learned alongside like San and I kind of figuring out, hey, what do we do? I want to make sure we're all prepared for that. So just things to consider with that. Get it done. That's my biggest thing, because I have to hunt you down if you don't, and I withhold your pay, and I don't want to withhold your pay. So please get those done. We have committees that we serve on. So with that, you will have the ability to serve within a committee within Senate as a whole. It's called the Standing Committee, or you can serve on the broader shared governance, which is like the entirety of campus and make some major differences. We do have representation on every single shared governance committee, including the highest one, which is College Assembly. So definitely something to note is that if you want to make a difference, we can help you make a difference. You will serve on at least 2. We'll figure that out as we go. Lastly, just to note is that we really also want to market ourselves out. So what we have planned for this year Nevaeh did a great job in creating it. Now we have the presentation for the class in the future. You're going to be spreading this information to your classmates, whether you're in person or virtual, it doesn't matter. If you're an asynchronous class, find a discussion board, post in there what Sente's about. We get told time and time again, we don't know what Senate does, which I don't know how you don't know because we're legitimately involved in a lot of these decision-making processes, but we want to get that out. Good? Cool. Again, I'm not going to read that verbatim because that's really small and a lot. I wanted just to show this. I hate that's hidden. Oh, that's just me. It doesn't matter. Just in case you're wondering, how does our hierarchy within Senate look? For the incoming Senate, Jose will be the president or the chair, and then this is how everything else falls. It is very flat. We have very seldom few levels that would separate power. We like to operate like that because you all have an equal voice in making a difference. So I'm just showing you this just in case you're wondering, like, how does Senate work? Am I the person with the lowest amount of power? Do I not have the ability? Do we not care about the regionals? No, you all have power and ability to make a difference, whether you're here, south, or any of the regional campuses. Side note, if you have friends, you know anybody at Fort Atkinson, we need a Fort Atkinson senator. Compensation, so you know you are paid for this role. The president's hourly pay, is it 15 hours a week in the summer?
No, 10 hours a week in the summer.
Okay, I thought that was wrong, but so the president will work up to 10 hours a week in the summer. Our VP of Admin and Finance, Quinn, you'll do up to 5 hours a week in the summer, and then the everybody else I think is about 5 hours-ish, give or take. All vice presidents are paid $700. Some of the stipends, senators are paid $400. So this is just transparency to you. This does mean something. So if you're like, I'm not in it for the money, that's awesome. We're still going to pay you for the work that you do, and we have a process for that. And then during the year, president and the VP of Admin and Finance still work their hourly rates, but then it bumps up. As of this year, we have full approval, and I've submitted the official budget to Ellie, so we're set now. All vice presidents will make $1,500 a semester, and then all general senators, you will make $900. Those are up from before. That's up $500 for the vice president and $150 for the senators. And it's really going to make, I think, a much difference. And I really hope that it at least something to be the cheer and the prop that you're going to do for people. And then now your to-do list. I sent you all your introductory survey of like, hey, new senator information. I don't have all of you. If you haven't done it yet, get it done, please. I'm going to keep bothering you with emails. It's just going to happen. Attend the swearing-in ceremony. Like I said, I'm assuming you're there unless you tell me you're not. Please plan to attend all of our summer meetings. They're split up. Most of them are going to be here in the TrueXC 2402. We'll have a couple in the health building. Those are already on Wolfpack Connect. So if you know what Wolfpack Connect is, go there. I have all of the meetings for the summer and the fall already planned out, ready to go. So they are there, and you'll have Outlook invites. I send everything through Outlook. If you're wondering, hey, is it here? If it's, check your calendar. That's 100% where it's going to be at. Please continue to read your student email, and then you'll have access to your training course as of May 9th through Brightspace. So we will not be using Blackboard. We will be using Brightspace, and I'll add you all to that. So you don't have to worry about that. You'll get a fun little email that says, hey, you've joined. Oh, the other thing is if you've never worked an on-campus job, you have to be completed through the onboarding process. I'm going to identify who you all are. You're going to get a separate email from me after the swearing in. The swearing in is like the kickoff of, I know you're going to commit to do this now. Now we'll go through the hiring process. Really easy, really simple. Everybody's had to do it. Should take you no more than like 2 hours max or the span of a week to complete. Super easy. Any last questions for me? What's up?
Will the student senate meetings during the summer be online and in person?
Yep. I'll set up your teams. Who's going to be your training on time? The only thing I know that I had someone ask me about is, will we do like a dry run of the swearing in so no one feels awkward of how to move? We can. If you want to do that, I'll be in TrueX D1630 B and C by like 3:30 on Thursday. So if you're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do, come talk to me. I'll literally walk you through it. It's really easy. We took out a lot of the hard part to it and a lot of the additional stuff. So it's really just questions. Looking at our time, I'm going to have to cut it just a little bit, but why don't we take like 3-ish minutes and, connect with your peers here, maybe in similar roles. So real quick, if our VP of Team Development, VP of PR, y'all are here, I think y'all made contact. So our VP PR currently is Nevaeh Jackson Winters. Our VP of Team Development is Nohaya Solifu. When you know Elon, we'll talk to Elon, go for it. Jose, Brad and I here, Simon, I'll talk to you. You can, everybody else, please just talk with your peers. Get to know one another, just let's take 3 minutes. And for our folks online,
Switch it up.
throw it up in the chat if you want to. I was doing breakouts then.
Well, just talk to some of the new people, find a new person to talk to. You know, there's Vaughn over there.
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
What's up, John? I like the
there.
shades.
Then,
Thanks,
Cool.
man.
Very stylish.
I wish I was just being cool, but I have ultra sensitive eyes.
Oh, sure. Mhm. No, that makes sense. I get that. You know, I always keep my brightness low as well. So, yeah, I get that, man. It's all good. Yeah. Are you excited to be a senator next year then?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm already pretty active in like my local communities and whatnot. So in the decision-making processes, my parents serve on boards. So
Sure. That's so cool. Yeah, were you
what's your
sorry.
major? What's your major, guys?
I'm currently gonna be studying AI and economics. It's an interesting combo.
Nice. I'm in cybersecurity, actually. I'll be a
Oh, that's so
cybersecurity specialist. I would like to become a penetration tester. That's the job everyone wants, but yeah, I've been working towards that. And I don't see that industry going anywhere. Yeah, so just the freedom that it is going to provide. Now, that being said, like, I have done speaking events for youngsters, like through my church and stuff like that when I was younger.
Sure.
Never been afraid to just talk it out, debate it, whatever we need to talk about, right? Rafter, is that your last name? Declan?
Yeah, Declan. Yeah.
Hey, Declan.
I didn't realize that he was like muted for everyone. I thought I had just like put him on mute for myself. I saw Cole like freaking out over there, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and if any of the other people, tell them to unmute so they can talk.
Indeed.
Yeah,
I have
Eamon
blue
and
light filters
Nadine.
on my glasses for the exact same reason that I have super sensitive eyes.
Yeah, I was told I have 30/30 vision, and that makes sense because I get migraines if I stare at the computer too long.
Yeah. Do you have a special prescription then for your glasses?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my prescription is Ray-Bans.
Oh, I respect that.
I would
Have you
look into
seen the
blue light
glasses
filter.
that
That helps a lot.
Oh yeah. Blue light. Yeah. I feel like, you know,
I have some blue
like,
blockers,
an app on my
but
phone.
these always work better.
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
exactly.
We're excited. We're excited.
Oh yeah.
Back to
silence.
Casper will talk to you about that one.
Bring it on back. You said that, I think presentation on the SharePoint.
Yeah, he'll cut it up. No worries. So, okay, we'll come back to the tables. We'll get back to the conversation.
So my last thing just for everybody is please continue to connect with your peers. Just because these folks are leaving, ask them if you can stay in contact with them. It's always good to have these connections. They're gonna help in the long run. A lot of folks are graduating. Both But I think honestly, if you're wanting to ask for help, they're willing to give you that help, even if it's for 5 minutes of your time, they'll do so. So please continue to connect. I'll do one final email with everybody on it just to say, hey, here's everyone's emails if you want to continue to connect with me. So with that, that's everything that I have. Thank you. It's really cool to see y'all connecting. To our new senator folks or incoming folks, you can now depart if you would like. It is entirely up to you. We'll be getting more to the business and we're going to go a little long. So if you need to depart, you definitely can. If you want to stay here, awesome. But thank you for being here and I'll turn back over to y'all.
But I would ask that for the sake of Evan, your new, like coworker next year, I would ask that you stay for at least his, but you do not have to. If you have to go, you have to go.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Well, okay, you're not. That's not yeah, but for the sake of Evan, if you want to step up there, and so you can just leave whatever you need to. So you do not like compelled. Just if you can, and if
I thought it was
no worries.
4 to 6:30.
It typically is.
Okay.
It goes beyond.
This meeting is dead. There are reasons why this particular meeting is going to go long, but
Okay. So I'm kind of silly.
you know, you're right.
You can leave at 6:30. You don't have to stay. Even at the center, you don't have to stay. Yeah.
That was
You guys right now are like 7.
Oh, yeah. So it'll take longer if we don't pay attention to Evan. So okay, Mr. Senator Riggles.
Yeah, you got it.
Got it right this time.
So this has been kind of an area and interest of mine for the past about 1.5 years. Thank you. It's been an issue that I've been very passionate about and I feel like not many people know about. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about community college bachelor's degrees and the benefits of them, the history of it, and some of the common questions I get from them. I'm also not an auctioneer, so I won't go as fast as Kai or Cole or Tina.
Gotcha.
I'll try my best. Oh, wait.
Oh, battery done. Yeah, battery's
All
done.
right, that's fine.
You just tell me to click on go.
Yeah.
Go.
All right, you can go to the next one.
You go.
Okay. So giving you just a little bit of history about community college bachelors. They were initially, the idea of a community college baccalaureate was initially designed as kind of the branch or bridge to going to a 4-year university or a 4-year college. But as time progressed, they actually started to implement actual bachelor's degrees fully, all 4 years at 2-year colleges. Starting back in 1989, the state of Virginia was one of the first. Some of the reasons that community colleges tend to administer bachelor's degrees is because maybe they need maybe they're experiencing labor shortages in a particular area or field of study. Some of the most common ones are education, nursing, business, and any of the applied science fields. So here. Okay, you can go to the next one. Okay, so this is kind of what I talked about just now. You can actually go to the next one too. Okay, so obviously the original idea of community college bachelor's degrees was to account for the shortages people were having in specific career areas or fields, but also kind of a consequence that it has. Being a positive consequence is that it promotes a higher accessibility to post-secondary education for lower income and impoverished communities who predominantly tend to have a lot of minorities and people of color. So probably go to the next one. So a lot of times people will kind of ask me, well, how would we implement this and why, what would be the need to implement this? So I talked to actually the director of policy of the WTCS system, Brandon Trujillo. And he basically told me before they would consider doing something like this, they would have to find a reason to implement it. So, and I just put this up here because I thought it was kind of damning. We talked a little bit about this when we went to the Capitol a couple months ago. But as of now, Wisconsin is experiencing a significant shortage of educators. Approximately 40% of new teachers leaving the state of the profession within the first 6 years, which is leaving many schools struggling to find qualified teachers, especially in special education. Goes the same with registered nurses and even people in positions of business administration. So yeah, just elaborating on this a little bit more. One of the common questions I get is, would we be turning into a 4-year institution, or would we be retaining our identity as a 2-year college, but just offering 4-year degrees? And the answer is yes, we would still maintain our identity as a 2-year college with just adding a couple of those bachelor's degrees, because we still recognize the importance of 2-year associate's degrees, certificates, technical diplomas, and just the overall increasing value of a community college education, whether that be certificate, diploma, 2-year, or 4-year in some cases. So today, community college bachelor's degrees are offered in 203 community or technical college in 24 out of 50 states around the country. Currently, we have about 735 programs in total, just across the board. Let's see. Probably go to the next one. Here's actually just a quick map. You know what's going on with the Midwest. Seems like we need to probably catch up a little bit here, but off to the west, you can see a lot of them have implemented this. Yeah, it's just a little bit, I guess. Probably on. So to talk a little bit about the advantages of community college baccalaureates, as I said before, they increase accessibility to post-secondary education for groups that have been underserved by authority institutions, such as low-income families, minorities, single parents, and people living in rural areas, by helping them to overcome the barriers of distance, cost, lack of program affinity, and limited credit transfer. I just want to point out that historically, universities were often reserved for wealthy white individuals, typically men who came from positions of privilege, and diversity on university campuses has increased since the days of lawful discrimination. Many 4-year universities and colleges continue to systematically disadvantage underprivileged populations through the implementation of more subtle barriers, such as unaffordable tuition and strict academic standards, admission standards, while simultaneously catering to the wealthier white populations. And just to leave this up real quick, and I'll elaborate on this. So, when you live in lower income communities, you tend to have significantly lower property values, and the schools around you are funded by the taxes that that particular town or village requires. So you live in lower income communities, your schools are going to be really shitty with barely any resources, right? Low quality education, while your wealthier communities who hold predominantly white people are going to have access to very high education because the property values are significantly higher. So their taxes, the total net amount from their taxes will be more. And so why this matters is because when you have access to lower quality education, your graduation rate is severely diminished. And I'll show you a picture from my sociology class where we talked about how it kind of trickles down into the different communities. But aside from not being able to graduate or low graduation rates, your GPA is probably going to be significantly lower in a lower income community than it is in a higher income community due to the fact that you have had access to such high education versus low quality education. So that's kind of another barrier that universities have against minorities and people of color who come from these disadvantaged communities, right? So probably go to the next slide.
Can I mention something quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you mentioned rural communities too. I'll just give an example. I live in Biraboo. I don't know how many times people have seen Bearable in the news with all of their discrimination issues and other issues. We have not passed a tax referendum since I've been there to, improve the school district. My kids don't go to Bearable School. I hiked in the Sauk Prairie School District. Sauk Prairie has a higher tax bracket, is basically what he's talking about, and they have a better quality school system. If it wouldn't have been there, I would have hiked them someplace else like Wanakee.
Right.
And I didn't know that when I moved there. I moved there because buying a house was affordable.
Yeah, right. Basically, the idea though is that, based off of how wealthy your community is, your schools are either going to be very good or very bad, right? And the outcomes between a very good and very bad school are drastic, right? Like the next couple pictures I'm going to show you after a couple of these slides have two schools in Chicago, and one has a graduation rate of 25%, one has a graduation rate of 97.5%. And like I said, the 25 who did end up graduating from that high school are probably going to have a significantly lower GPA than of those who graduated from the very wealthy high school, which, when universities then require this very specific, GPA, you're immediately systemically disadvantaging all these people from these poor, low-income communities. So, let's see here.
Next. You go next.
Just there you go. Okay, so this is kind of what I was talking about. DuSable High School, urban, predominantly black, few resources. And you have New Trier High School, predominantly white, ton of resources, ample staff, abundance of space and classroom materials. Just go to the next one. And just a little data on it, I guess. Yeah. So this just kind of shows when you're, stuck in these lower income communities, how much this can affect your success rate, right? And you're probably not going to be able to afford the high prices that a university has to offer, right? So we'll probably go to the next one. Here's what I was saying before, graduation rate 25% versus 97.5. And we'll go to the next one. So here I just put in a couple graphs for the people who graduate high school and enroll in college. And the common trend that you see is the high income earners, the people in high income earning families tend to apply to college and go to college a lot more than people in lower income families. And this is because of what I was talking about, right? The idea that these universities have a lot of barriers for people. And this is kind of why I like promoting the idea of a community college bachelor's degree, because community colleges tend to accept you wherever you are, right? They try to promote your success and make sure you cross that finish line. That's why I love Madison College so much, and that's why I kind of do not like the university systems of America at all. But probably go to the next one. So a lot of people also ask me, so is this worth it, right? So would this actually be worth it for me to invest in something like this? And time again, what we see is that the higher you go in education, the higher you make, the higher your income level is. And so the average cost of a bachelor's degree in the state of Wisconsin and for the UW systems is around 111,000 at the end of all 4 years. Calculating what a community college bachelor's degree would cost nationwide, it came out to about 12 to 20,000, which is drastically lower. So,
what was your first number?
100 for the UW schools, or
sure.
These are 4-year universities,
So
including
for
private.
universities, how much?
in the state of Wisconsin, it's specifically $111,000. But many times it can exceed that.
That's when you include private, like the Waku institutions.
Well, that's two different things.
Yeah.
So are you talking about both public and private schools, or are you guys just lump it all together?
Just talking about
public.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. How much people on?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I have the information.
Is that a 4-year total, I'm assuming? All 4 years?
Yes, all 4
Okay.
years, yes. Whereas the average cost of a community college bachelor's degree, counting all of the states, is around $12,000 to $20,000 at the end of all 4 years. So when it comes to the question of, is this worth it? I think absolutely, yes, it is. And another question I get is, well, would we actually have to pay a little bit more for tuition? Say like the average cost of tuition for me right now is about 2,500 a semester. Would this mean that they'd have to pay $3,000 or 3,500? Maybe, I can't really tell you. Some community colleges have still managed to have that baseline price for tuition per semester. Some do increase it, but still, at the end of that, you're still paying significantly less than you would at a four-year university, right? $111,000 versus maybe $20,000 to $25,000. That's still incredibly worth it, in my opinion. Probably go to the next one. Let's see. Yeah, I can't remember this. It's just, so yeah. Yeah, I just kind of went over this general information, I guess. Oh, yeah. So another question that comes up is, if we eventually offered a limited amount of bachelor's degrees, would we still keep our transfer program so that people could go to a four-year university and get the degree that they want? Absolutely. Absolutely, because obviously we still can't offer what a university has. So if you want to go for philosophy, if you want to go for political science, anything from the hard sciences to the social sciences to healthcare, anything, we won't be able to offer that. So the goal is to still have those transfer options while also having our two-year associate's degrees, technical diplomas, certificates, but also adding a couple four-year degrees. Is it okay? Yep. So, you guys think, any questions?
We'll take some
4 questions.
Yeah, we'll take some 5 minutes to do 4 questions, I guess.
I would say, yeah. So I saw for Con did have his hand up a while back, so just mine will go for Con.
Remember, we're on time, so we'll try to keep it succinct if you can.
Because mine is not a question, I just want to point out, you said 111,000 average for 4-year universities, right, in Wisconsin, and this is in-state tuition. So I just want to.
Oh, yes, correct. Actually, I swear to God, I had that on one of my slides. I can't remember where exactly, but.
Yep. So I just want to point out, because today we also have in our agenda international students. This amount is minimum double to triple for international students. So 4-year, if you pay 111,000, basically we will pay minimum $222,000 to $333,000.
Wow. It's a great point to note for putting that out.
I don't know who was next.
Go ahead, just go next.
So you were mentioning on there that we would not, that we would still have a transfer program.
Correct.
What about for the bachelor degrees that we would have? Because I would think that there might be some people who would specifically want to transfer, like to a college maybe that their parent went to, or because that college is well known for a particular item. So like with the teaching degrees, would there still be the transfer?
Yeah, if you wanted to get like a 4-year degree in like business administration or education, which we would maybe, let's just say for the sake of my argument, we have down the road, you can still choose to do the transfer option and get it at like, say, UW-Madison,
Okay,
UW Eau Claire. Yeah.
wanted to make sure that even though we had it as a 4-year degree.
Yeah, you're
that
not
option would still be
required to,
available.
you need to get this, yeah.
So we don't want to lose those students too.
Courtney?
Yes, so I know it is very, very imperative for STEM students to be able to have access to education. And I know education is very, very, very expensive. We're using a lot of lab equipment. And I know that MATC, sometimes we do have, well, I know, we have shortages of equipment already. How would you balance that with people who are taking a bachelorette program? Would that extra money, like say, because those students, we have student retention right there, because they're committing for that 4-year program. Would we find a lot more like instant profit and would be able to sustain that type of program for STEM by reinvesting the 4-year, like I'm trying to see how this could be beneficial in a sense to people who run the labs and who take care of the products and such. Like, I know it's pretty expensive. I know like one cuvette's like.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
Thank you,
trying to
thank you, thank you.
understand.
Yeah, do you get the sense of, so I'm just trying to make sure everyone gets too.
Yeah, no.
Do you get a sense of what it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit confused as to.
No,
Okay, sorry.
So I bet
Question
I
is-
bet can answer that for you. So like, what would that mean is that you're right, there would be some cost, there would be basically end up being close to a small net profit that would come from that because you would be charging an additional amount for that degree that's going to be offered, that retention, therefore it raises prices. So what it would mean is there would be more work in the long term for the individuals that are managing that. But there would theoretically be an ample amount of supplies because with the greater students coming in. So I think that's what you're asking.
Yes.
And that's what would be the outcome of it. We have time for two more. I have Quinn and Lando. As my last.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, Quinn, go ahead.
First, just a point of clarification. The way you would see this going forward is we would start with a few of these more professionally oriented four-year degrees in nursing, business, education. You mentioned that would be our start. So we're not cutting into philosophy and political science.
No.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And that's one of the main concerns of like, say, the UW system or other four-year colleges around the state. Just because they want to make sure that we aren't trying to become a four-year institution or cutting in on their profits, right?
Yeah.
So it would be in a very specific field or area of study that we need workers in. So in this case, we need nurses. We're experiencing a shortage of nurses. We're experiencing a shortage of educators. We're experiencing a shortage of people in business administration roles. So those would probably be the degrees that we would offer.
One other thing that came to mind on the slide with the average income from different amounts of education to different people. Maybe this is, so I'm in support of like trying to expand education to more people, to try and provide social mobility. This is maybe a critique I foresee that maybe we would want to address, which is that are people with bachelors paid more because they've gone through 4 years of school, or are they paid more because their piece of paper says university, not community college on it?
The prestige.
The prestige, that's not something I have an answer to. That's something I would want to research. That's something I'm telling you about because I'm sure you would want to
I
like
appreciate
investigate that before, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny that you actually said that because we were talking about this in my sociology class today, and I really don't, she came to the conclusion that she really didn't know. I don't know how much people are looking at what school you went to versus what degree you have, right?
Yeah.
All I know is that the general trend is when you have a bachelor's degree, you do make more than somebody with an associate's degree from some college or a high school diploma. And yeah.
You'll have time for academic, like, back and forth later, but if you could just get to
Yeah.
those.
Oh, I
Yeah, sorry about that.
Lando, go ahead.
Hey, Evan, I really like this idea of offering a bachelor's degree at Madison College, even if it's just for like a single program to start. Like, I think that could definitely draw more people in and keep the retention up. I'll just make it brief. I think one of the main problems with that is just having adequate staffing to teach additional courses because, right now I feel like, there are a lot of programs that don't necessarily have the capacity to beef up their current programs to a point where it offers, the correct, level of education for a bachelor's, if that makes sense. So it's just a lot of like figuring out logistically what Madison College could do to hire on more professors from. Maybe they could pull from our UWs. I know Madison College tends to pay more than some of the, UW teachers. So maybe that could be a draw to get more professors in and then add some additional courses. But I do think it will, if this were to happen, it would take a while for everything to sort out on the logistical side of it, with the making sure that there was the correct number of staff and also just, enough people interested in these programs to want the bachelor's.
Absolutely. And thank you for kind of pointing that out. Obviously, that's that I would have to look into at some point. I really don't know if I'm not sure how much of a shortage we're experiencing in professors or instructors at Medicine College, but I do wonder, I guess, given the fact that these are high demand career or field areas, that we would be able to get some of them for them, such as business administration, nursing, or education, I guess. I'm not sure. I really can't speak to that.
One last thing before we end this discussion, wrap it up. 80% of our current budget goes towards administration. So just so you know that, looking into it next
Administration,
year.
or are you saying just?
Yes, sorry, I mean, like paying our professors.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and staff.
And student help?
I don't know,
No, that's
not
not-
student
that's
help.
not
I,
a percentage.
some student help, I'm sure, maybe like 1% of that, not much, because we pay a lot of our own student help. But all that to say, let's thank Evan for putting together his presentation. Very informative. You'll have a lot of chance to work with him next year. So if you didn't get a chance to say your ideas, sorry, have to cut it off somewhere in order to finish within 3 hours. This is a long meeting. So thank you everyone for your ideas, your participation, and I'm sure Evan has a lot more that it came from.
Yes,
So
yeah.
thank you very much. Okay, we can move on very quickly to reports of officers, advisors, and standing committees. My report is that no report, we covered everything that we need to cover. This is my last official meeting. I'll have statements next week. Thank you very much. There's one thing I'd like you to say.
No report except, we don't have any office hours this week. Last week was the end of the attendance sheet.
No office hours this week?
You can give him a round of applause for that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Moving on.
I want to say, no report. We had our last meeting, yesterday. Yeah, I will also have statements to say. So, thank you.
Perfect. Team
No
development?
report.
No report, love it. Public relations?
I do have a report.
Okay.
So I want to share the slides that I made.
I don't have that pulled up.
Why don't we cycle that back? So let's go to Cole. We're gonna put you at the end, and then Cole, after his report, he will be able to pull yours up while Declan and not Sierra up.
Yeah, mainly for me, one, all stipends were processed today, so they're in the queue to be approved by all the appropriate people. Can you come and show me what slides I gotta find? You folks get, if you want to depart, you can definitely depart. My last thing, as always, is just make sure that you are completing everything effectively. And if you have any feedback that you received in your committees, I would like you to send those to me so I can have that. Anything like, what did we do well? What could improve? Send all that to me. Yeah, that would just help me out. And then VPs, please get me your, what's it called? Your transition document. All right, with that, here are the slides.
Perfect.
Gonna work.
It's not.
Gotta go full screen. It's not working.
There we go.
Oh, okay, so this is for like the report of the public relations. So, Ari, this is mainly gonna be for you. And anybody who's gonna be on the committee for public relations or meeting ideas. I'm gonna go briefly through it. So next slide. Just what is public relations? Public relations, what we do. Next slide. Here are some of the posters we made for the 2024, 2025. So as you can see, a lot of amazing stuff. Next. And then we have some advice from former PR committees. Me, next. Annette, next. Declan, next. Angel, next. Andy, next. And then,
You brought that on.
so things we like started but wanted to continue going. This is mostly like the main thing, but translating emergency evacuation 1 cards into different languages. And if you're in the, if I don't know if that's gonna continue the public safety one,
It'll be some form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then hands-on stuff like tabling and in general for public relations, event flyers, contests like elections for town hall, regarding Senate. Checking out other committees and crossover work like collaborating and having Senate present at different clubs and events and being open to answer questions and define what we do as a club. Then showcase upcoming events about what clubs are doing, if clubs are open to it, working closely with Enron to facilitate press coverage of meetings, Senate, and photographing GA meetings and new senators being inducted, because sometimes people do leave the Senate, but yeah. Thanks, and that's this. And good luck.
Okay. Moving on to reports from the Special and Select Committees, Public Safety Advisory Committee Center, after you have 2 minutes to wrap things up here.
Yeah, so we just had a little final reflection document that is currently posted in the chat. I mean, essentially, we don't have to go into the details, but we had 5 main goals. Well, actually, you know what? We consolidated 1 into 2. Yeah, okay. So we have 4 main goals. One of them is an aside about the comms coordinator. One is continued planning for the efficiency parking initiative. We also want to see some follow-up on our emergency 1 card, or the emergency quick guide that we made in Canva. Expanding that to an EAP training on Brightspace, which is a longer term project, and then maybe some Wolfie videos talking about what to do in case of emergency. And we created a bunch of actionable elements about who to reach out to and what that looks like to take the first steps on that. And then there's some reflections a little bit later. We also brainstormed a independent samples t-test on the efficacy of 1 cards, or the efficacy of the actual blue card 1 guide that we created. So there's a lot there to review as a resource for the next Senate, but beyond that, that's pretty much it.
Thank you for summarizing that very quickly. So they'll have that document that you put in there to reference, and whoever takes it up next year will be able to use your notes as a guiding doctrine for how they will proceed to make changes for public safety at Madison College. So thank you very much. You did a lot of work in setting up the process of how this works.
Yay.
Okay, moving on. Textbook Affordability Committee, do you have anything? So Sierra's not here, but Cole, do you have any other information other than what Kim has said?
Reviewing the rate, we're looking at the late fee. Sometimes it goes back and forth. I've heard that they actually do give back the money they would charge for the late fee, if you get it with a respectable amount of time. But the communication for returning books has increased every single year. So this year they've had a ton of communication go out, and that'll only go forward. So stuff they're reviewing. They're going to meet back up, I think, in July. So more information to come there. But yeah, if you have insight, or you have stuff you want me to take back to them, send me an email, and I'll get to them, because I don't know who'll be on student wise, but I'm on it for staff.
Perfect. Annette?
I just wanted to mention at Goodman South, they have, and they have it in the building here, but they have those drop-off boxes. So I don't know why they can't have one outdoor.
At the regional campuses. I think all regional campuses have 1 now as of the start of, because I think at the campus fund days. I think at Campus Fun Days, they implemented that, but was this happen last semester?
They have a place you can drop our books. So for example, it was the 19 and I went there 19, but I think it's ours and they lock it. And it was locked.
Sorry.
So,
Yeah. Well, maybe you
Well,
can.
Goodman has an outdoor one.
Yeah. We'll have FurCon's bill next year maybe, and then we'll get you your money back potentially. So.
And they used to have a fee for late fees too.
Sorry?
Donations for late fees. They do that here at 2X. So maybe they need to get that expanded to the other campus.
Shoot me emails. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, the next year's thing. You got your initiative already. Okay, moving on. Oh, was that it? Yep. And the last thing to mention is that Tina gave us that PowerPoint. So next year they'll be looking to update the textbook rental fee, and Student Senate actually does have to approve it. So new people all of you here will be approving the new fee that they'll be coming up with. And you'll have to be part of that conversation, and Cole's on that committee, so he'll bring it forward to you for approval.
Yep.
So that'll be your task next year. Any new structures to that. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. So I'm gonna pull it up mostly because I took some edits that Annette made, and I have a new document. So Kristen, are you here online right now? I know you've been waiting for quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm here.
Wow, thank you for enduring all the mumbo jumbo we deal with. So here is the resolution. I guess we'll go through a quick reading of it, highlighting the areas of change, and then we'll pass it over to you for a statement, because I know you have things to say about this. But there are some updates to this, some from me and Kristen, and some from, well, my what's it called, typography of Kristen's edits, as well as Annette's edits in there. So this is what we came up with. So Resolution 13, MOU for regional campus nursing students. Student Senate supports creating a memorandum of understanding to communicate nursing program news and updates to regional campus students. This is a resolution. Formal motion, Student Senate encourages student advocacy from the Watertown nursing students and supports the creation of a memorandum of understanding to communicate news and updates about program decisions that will affect students. Whereas Madison College invests in academic programs of study in healthcare, particularly nursing related fields, including registered nursing, practical nursing, nursing assistant, which is the largest enrolled program at Madison College. Yes.
Did you say you were going to share it?
Oh, am I not sharing the screen right now?
No.
I'm sorry.
I
meant to share it and I never clicked the button to say share. So that's my fault.
So we see Teams.
Yep, now you see it.
Perfect.
Perfect. And the highlight there is just, I misspelled a word and that pointed out. So thank you for being my English editor. In fall 24, more than 300 students graduated from nursing assistant program, a 3-credit certification, which is the largest number of graduates in that semester for any academic program study. The Wisconsin Hospital Association released their annual Wisconsin Healthcare Workforce Report in March 25. And about 1 in 10 hospital jobs remain unfilled, and the demand for nurses in the state is higher than the total number of nurses already working due to an increasingly mobile workforce, changing work patterns, and increased demand from the silver tsunami of baby boomer adults reaching age 65 and higher. I couldn't think of a way to make that more succinct in that. So I think if you're okay with that, I'm just going to leave that one. I did everything else but that edit. On March 24, 25, members of the Student Senate hosted a listening session on Watertown campus where more than 10 nursing program students share their concerns about program availability, particularly for microbiology and anatomy and physiology classes offered on their campuses. During town hall, Watertown nursing program students said that traditionally there have been both fall and spring starts for the program, which had 12 starts in the fall, 12 starts in the spring. However, the program model changed to where all 24 starts began in just the fall for consistency and scheduling of academic classes. However, the Watertown nursing program students said that the program has since reduced the number of fall semester starts from 24 to 21 students. And now they have heard from instructors that the program may be reduced even further from 21 to 14 students for the fall semester start, which may potentially, your word, include students from Truex campus enrolled in seats on the Watertown campus program. Additionally, the Watertown nursing program students said that seats for microbiology coursework may no longer be offered on the Watertown campus, which means that if the students would like to continue their program study, they may have to commute from Watertown area to Truex campus to complete a lab requirement for the prereqs. Madison College nursing students programs, have prerequisite courses before you begin the core curriculum, which requires 31 credits of coursework in nursing assistant certification, written communication, speech, English composition, anatomy, physiology 1 and 2, microbiology, sociology, psychology, and developmental psychology. All the additional prerequisite coursework necessary for understanding program fundamentals. The additional requirements do make the program longer to reach completion in the advertised 2-year program. Watertown nursing program students Kristen Wilson collaborated with Senate to host a public comment hearing in March 27, 25. General Assembly meeting with Provost Dr. Beth Giles and Dean of the Nursing Program, Dr. Carrie Kleminski, where she was able to advocate on behalf of her peers to retain the number of fall program starts and the microbiology course offerings on the Watertown campus. While Madison College School of Nursing does have a 72-page nursing student handbook that explains the type of information in the program in simpler short form communication in the form of a brochure, a flyer, one pager, only front and back sides could provide better communication channel for nursing students to understand the petition process and classwork for the program. Following the GA meeting on March 27th, Senator Annette B. Crowder drafted a summary document on establishing a memorandum of understanding (MOU) for nursing program students to outline clear expectations for the petition process, define eligibility criteria, clarify waitlist policies, share necessary program information on support services, and most importantly, secure trust in the process for students. New addition from Cole. Later on, Senate learned the microbiology course offering will remain on the Watertown campus for fall 25 and 21 seats retaining the program for the 2025 fall start of the nursing program. For reasons listed above, we, the members of Student Senate, believe that Watertown campus nursing program students, and for that matter, all regional campus nursing students, deserve a clearly defined MOU to ensure timely, transparent updates and equitable access to academic programs. Section 2, commitments. Student Senate commits to the following actions to ensure the successful communication of nursing program requirements to all nursing program students, including regional campus students. Remain in contact with our Watertown nursing program students through our Watertown Regional Campus Center, with the regional campus student advisors and campus manager acting as a primary point of contact for nursing students. That was Kristen Change, along with other available communication channels to ensure Student Senate provides ongoing engagement and dialogue, as well as adequate support to nursing students. Communicate any program changes, such as reductions, additions to available program start seats, prerequisite and core curriculum course availability, course modality, which includes online, hybrid, or in person. LPN, ADN bridge program details, among other changes in the name of transparency. Offer nursing program workshop with hybrid options to be offered before the petitioning process begins to provide clarity and understanding of the students. This one may be outdated given the knowledge that they are soon transitioning away from the petitioning process. I don't think it's starting right away, so there'll still be a year left where they'll be transitioning out of the petitioning process. But for now, I think this is worthwhile including in there. Work with the academic program officials, including the provost, deans, associate dean of nursing program prereq, and core curriculum instructors, regional campus managers to establish an MOU for students to ensure they have access to key points of context to share questions and concerns related to the program, with student feedback loops for two-way communication between students and administration. Collaborate with student groups like Student Nursing Association and future healthcare professionals on campus to ensure that nursing program students on all campuses are able to complete their desired program of study and have successful workforce placement after graduation. And number 6, explore pathways to academic accommodations and scheduling flexibility for regional students who face transportation or technological barriers due to cross-campus course requirements. I'm done with this portion. Kristen, take it away. Oh.
Thank you guys so much for reaching out to me. I know I brought this up to my class yesterday, and they're really on board with it because there really needs to be more transparency. Like, I feel bad saying that, but like the transparency that was given prior to like making a stink about it was, you know, like one person going here, one person going there, and then it was just like a big runaround. So I really think this is very beneficial to the next coming cohorts, and also like the nursing students, like the pre-nursing students like me and my cohort that are, you know, we're still waiting in limbo on acceptance letters, and to like see transparency with the petition time frame that we're in right now. Like, it would be nice to know, like, okay, are they sitting down, because they close the window on April 15th and you get 15 business days before you get an approval. But like, I know the students were saying it'd be nice to know, like, if they sat down, say, like on a random Thursday, to know, like, okay, then they're going to sit down this day and be picking numbers and students and looking at all the requirements, you know, because this is like a big deal for a lot of these students. And like Kai had mentioned, you know, like this memorandum of understanding will provide, you know, like an open window from the provost to the student and student back to the provost, you know, not feeling like it's a shut and locked door with no window. I think this is a fantastic policy. Like, I will endorse this 1,000%. I think this is really well needed. And I don't think if you guys came out and listened to our concerns on the 24th, I don't think the number of seats or, you know, this big uproar of change would have had happen. So like, on behalf of not just me, but like the rest of my cohort, that they're really grateful for all the things that you guys have, you know, done for us. And even now this new policy coming in with transparency in all aspects of the nursing program. And I do really like how we added in there to have that either like the dean or the associate dean come out once a spring semester to talk to the pre-nursing students on what this whole process looked like, because in that almost 2-hour meeting, we got so many questions answered. And, you know, I had typed up, you know, questions, comments, and concerns with everybody's questions, comments, and concerns on it for an agenda, and took meeting minutes on it. I think that'd be really helpful for upcoming cohorts, and even having, you know, someone from the nursing program, like the dean or somebody, come out to reach out to the core nursing students to see, like, okay, how is every check-in to see how everything's going? You know, is there, you know, is this stuff going good? Is there anything that we could work on? I think that would be another beneficial thing. But altogether, 1,000% endorse this. Thank you so much, Kai, for reaching out to me. Like, it really means a lot. I don't know, I felt like a crazy person last week, like going through all of this and trying to reach out to people. Like, all of a sudden I realize I'm like, okay, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. I need to go home and go to bed. But like, this is what these are like, like the nursing students and pre-nursing students, like, last week, Thursday, I literally, worked 2 jobs, did homework and, running on 3 hours of sleep. But this stuff is very important to us. And to know, like, to just be left like in limbo and not having that transparency makes it even more stressful. Like, there's so many times like I could have just broke down and cried of like, okay, what can we do to make sure that like that my class, like my girls get to come along in this nursing journey, not just with me. We get to be one with each other in this. And to see like our seats got bumped up to 21 with 3 alternatives, so technically 24 now, like I could just cry because of how grateful I am for this like experience, and to know that like maybe not everybody gets to get into the nursing program, but at least 94% of us will. So again, thank you so much, and thank you for reaching out, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Kristen, for your public advocacy. Let's just give her a hand of applause. You have one comment from Annette?
Nope, I'm pretty sure I saw Angela.
Sorry, I didn't see your
make
hand.
a
I was.
motion
Yes.
to approve the referendum.
Is that
And I'm
yours?
seconding it.
Motion made by Senator Avila, second by Senator Crowder. At this point, is there any further discussion?
I
Hearing,
just really wanted Angel to have, because he really brought this issue home for us and helped made us aware of this. So I really appreciate that, Angel.
Thank you. I want to say as well, Cole, for actually allowing that meeting on the 24th, organizing it, and overall drafting it and bringing it up. So thank you for presenting the MO as well. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Yay!
you can clap again after it's passed. So let's go for the roll call.
Voting starts now. Okay. Vice President of Legislative Affairs Hashmi.
Yay.
He's on here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Vice President of Team Development Salifu.
Yeah.
Vice President of Public Relations Jackson Rangers.
Yes.
Senator Avila.
Yes.
Senator Cyril Brunner.
Abstain.
Senator Madsen.
Yes.
Senator Portillo.
Yes.
Senator Rafter.
Aye.
Senator Richgills.
Aye.
Senator Valerio.
Senator Villarreal, aye.
Senator West. Abstain. Voted Senator Crowder.
Yes.
Reesburg, Senator Stacy Brown. Vote Atkinson, Senator Dirks.
Aye.
What's the total?
A 0 nays, 3 abstain.
With a vote of 12 in favor, 0 against, and 3 abstaining, this motion carries. Thank you very much. Now we have another one to share, so you can share the new document, the PDF version.
The one you just sent.
No, that was the MOU, the update, but then I had to do an update to the update from Annette. No, don't be sorry. There were things that probably needed to be fixed, like 2 spelling errors that I did not catch.
So is it in SharePoint?
Yes, it's in SharePoint.
Maybe I can read it even fast.
All right. I think I got it.
So if you didn't catch this, I'm trying to make the meeting go faster. Normally you would not read that fast, but for the sake of, we've been looking at these, so we're going through it really fast. Normally you probably wouldn't do that. So, yeah, so Jose's gonna have to work on his, what's it called? What was it called? Auctioneer voice?
I got five.
Exactly, so, and you'll have a gavel to go with it, so. Okay, at this point, can you zoom in a little more? Okay, thank you. So this one will go the same way. I'll try to read as fast as I can.
This one deals with upholding international students' rights. Resolution 14, Student Senate supports the rights of international students to study, work, and live freely and openly without fear of unlawful deportation at Madison College. Student Senate recognizes that international students are a vital part of the Madison College community and student body. We're committed to ensuring that international students can continue to pursue their education free from the fear, stress, and mental burdens of the threat of unlawful deportation and revocation of their student visa status. Whereas Madison College Strategic Plan Vision 2030 outlines like 6 key commitments to create meaningful, transparent, informative action, which that Madison College will be preferred choice in South Central Wisconsin for post-secondary and community education. Additionally, a 2030 plan also commits that Madison College will remove historic barriers to college access and student success by reviewing and updating systems, policies, and practices, and ensure they're equitable. March 25, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has begun to revoke the visas of more than 300 individuals, which include international student visas. The Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE agency have detained and deported students and faculty members from university and college campuses. According to the Center for International Education, CIE, Madison College hosts 195 international students on F1 visas who are from more than 60 places of citizenship around the world. On Wednesday, April 9th, 25, at the April meeting of the Madison College District Board, Dr. Kim Casper, the college president, announced that Madison College learned that an international student had their visa revoked and student exchange visitor information system set its record terminated, which means that the student may have to leave the country immediately or risk potential deportation. Only 1 week later, on Tuesday, April 15th, the spokesperson for Madison College confirmed that there were now 3 international students who had their student visa status revoked. According to Zed Higher Ed, as of April 22nd, over 265 colleges and universities from over half of all states across the nation had more than 1,700 international students and recent graduates who were given notices that their visa status had been terminated, which includes at least 43 from 5 Wisconsin-based institutions: University of Wisconsin-Madison, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Marquette University, Concordia University, Wisconsin, and Madison College. Some international students are seeking legal action through lawsuits with agencies like Madison-based Local Legal and UW-Madison student Krishlal Datsny filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration after DHS issued a student visa revocation. And on April 15th, a federal judge granted a temporary restraining order for Isser Datsny, ruling that DHS cannot terminate a student visa without due process. Scroll down, please. On April 17th, oops, a little too far. Sorry, no worries. Thursday, April 17th, Senate hosted a Q&A session with invited speaker Stephanie Belmas, Director of CIE, Dr. Mark Thomas Jr., Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, regarding the international students who had their visa status revoked, where students expressed their concern for the safety and well-being of international students and requested the continued support of Madison College officials in line with the 2030 key commitments. On Thursday, April 22nd, 25, several international students were recognized for leadership, dedication, service to Madison College student body. 25 Student Success Awards and United Common Ground received Student Organization Year Award, emphasizing the importance, I'm assuming, demonstrating tolerance for different viewpoints, building unity amongst others, and promoting effective inclusion, belonging, and celebrating diversity within the student body on our campuses. On Friday, April 25th, the Severus records and visa status of all 3 international students were restored. However, no reason was issued for why they were restored or if that could change again anytime in the future. For the reasons listed above, we, the members of the Student Senate, believe that Madison College should make every effort to defend and uphold the rights of international students on this campus. Scrolling down, please. Section 2 commitments. Senate commits to following actions to uphold the educational rights of international students, ensure the safety guaranteed to them through lawfully obtained visa status, promote accurate, complete, and timely news updates to Madison College student body about the fate of international students as student visa status discussion continues to unfold. Work with academic program officials, including Director of CIE, Stephanie Belmas, and the Vice President of Student Affairs, Tina Hato, as in the interim to ensure that international students have access to resources for emotional, financial, and legal support as they continue to face the challenges regarding student visas. Collaborate with student groups on campus such as the IE and UCG to host events and disseminate information like red cards and the student website section for non-immigrant student federal policy impacts, FAQ, to keep the student body informed about international cultures, perspectives, and practices, and connect local students with those who came from abroad. Advocate for Madison College to sign the joint letter written by American Association of Colleges and Universities in support of international students. This letter is titled A Call for Constructive Engagement, was developed in collaboration with the university and college presidents and other educational leaders across the country after national meetings convened by the American Association of Colleges and Universities and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Scroll down a little bit for one last section. UW-Madison, Beloit College, and Marquette University have all signed on to this letter. Let's go ahead and share the letter. Do you have that, or should I?
I would say you should.
Great, I will do that. I did send out an email this morning, yesterday, reminding people to read it. Where is that email?
Was it the call to action letter?
Yes, it's the call to action letter.
There you go.
You got it?
Yep.
Thank you. Oh, yep, it's in there. But, oh, that's very small, you know, either I'm going blind or. There we go. Can I read that? Hold on. Let me, I can read this. As leaders, so this is the letter. It's titled A Call to Action. This is the letter that's referenced in the resolution. This is what the exec team discussed whether or not we would talk about adding that in there. I think ultimately the exec team did decide to put it into the resolution. And just want to make sure that everyone knows what the letter says before we just approve it. As leaders of America's colleges, universities, and scholarly societies, we speak with one voice against the unprecedented government overreach and political interference now endangering American higher education. We're open to constructive reform and do not oppose legitimate government oversight. However, we must oppose undue government intrusion in the lives of those who learn, live, and work on our campuses. We'll always seek effective and fair financial practices, but we must reject the coercive use of public research funding. America's system of higher learning is as varied as the goals and dreams of the students it serves. It includes research universities and community colleges, comprehensive universities and liberal art colleges, public institutions and private, freestanding and multi-site campuses. Some institutions are designed for all students, and others are dedicated to serving particular groups. Yet, American institutions of higher learning have in common the essential freedoms to determine on academic grounds whom to admit and what is taught, how, and by whom. Our colleges and universities share a commitment to serve as centers of open inquiry where, in the pursuit of truth, faculty, students, and staff are free to exchange ideas and opinions across a full range of viewpoints without fear of retribution, censorship, or deportation. Because of these freedoms, American institutions of higher learning are essential to American prosperity and serve as productive partners with the government in promoting the common good. Colleges and universities are engines of opportunity and mobility, anchor institutions that contribute to economic and cultural vitality regionally in our local communities. They foster creativity and innovation, provide human resources to meet the fast-changing demands of our dynamic workforce, and are themselves major employers. They nurture the scholarly pursuits that ensure America's leadership in research, and many provide healthcare and other essential services. Most fundamentally, America's colleges and universities prepare an educated citizenry to sustain our democracy. The price of abridging the defining freedoms of American higher education will be paid by our students and our society. On behalf of our current and future students and all who work at and benefit from our institutions, we call for constructive engagement that improves our institutions and serves our public. Signed a bunch of different colleges. I think there's like over 200 more. I think there's more colleges signed on as of yesterday than there are official nations that are recognized by the UN. What is that? 200. Oh, scroll back down to the bottom. There's the numbers down there. As of yesterday, it's 200. What does it say?
568.
Oh, 568. Whoa. Maybe I looked at it a very long time ago because that's a big number from when I looked at it. So yay, it's updated. 500 people signed on to it now. Madison College could be one of them if we include it in this resolution and if they listen to us. So a lot of ifs, but you can keep pushing for it next year if you believe in it. I think you do. So at least I think Jose does. And I know Hassan's here and I feel like Quinn and who else is in here? Evan, Angel, and Ned maybe is here. So you can, Andy, you can continue to push for these changes, even if this is from last year. And this can be the guiding doctrine for it. There's only one last change at request from Stephanie Belmas, who had the opportunity to read this. So let me just pull that up. So we're just going to read her change. And then if you're okay with it, we'll add it in the area that she would like to see it added. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. She's the director of the Center for International Education. She came and answered questions for us. Oh, see, this is why I don't have to do the share screen. Okay, so from Stephanie Belmas, regarding item 11 in the resolution, two of the records reactivate at the end of day evening on Thursday, April 24th, and the remaining one on Friday, April 25th. So the phrasing as of Friday or instead changing to by Friday, April 25th would be more accurate rather than on. So that's the only thing, very small language change, but she's definitely dedicated to making sure that we're accurate with the information that we have. So if that one small change is okay, then that's the only discussion we have to have further on it. Otherwise, I do want to check in with people and see that letter. Do you like the idea of asking Madison College to sign the letter? Quinn.
I do. I think the letter kind of avoids the elephant in the room.
I know.
On a couple points.
Yeah, it
it's
does.
It's so beige, but it's fine. We should still sign it.
It's better than doing nothing.
But,
and there's one section in there that literally does mention deportation. I think what they're trying to do is make sure to get enough people to sign on to it and also not lose their funding because there's a lot of federal dollars at risk. I think they're trying to do as much as they can. they're trying to play a little bit of, I don't know. I think
No, I
it's
totally
good,
know what you're saying.
good overall. Yeah, yeah, but any other comments on the letter? We all feel the kind of same about that letter, and feel free to speak up. It's very, like the letter.
Yeah, I think it'd be very important to sign that.
Okay. Okay.
When are we trying to get the letter signed? I think.
We just, only request in here is that we're gonna ask Madison College, so that's really on our next president and the rest of the Senate to take care of it. So this is published now, so I will send it to Dr. Casper, and I'm sure that it'll make its way over to, Dr. Jennifer Byrne. So,
That's
but
the
it'll
only
be,
thing I'm worried about is the fact that, do we send it to Dr. Casper now?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Or do we potentially wait and give Dr. Burns a chance to get acclimated to her position? I just don't want anyone.
I'm sure that
I'm
Dr.
not saying Dr.
Casper,
Casper would do anything.
I don't think he would. I think he would probably have the same concern as you, I'm assuming, and that the whole cabinet will read it and be informed about it, and they'll probably ask her to do it. And plus, it's not up to us. It's gonna be up to them. And knowing Dr. Casper, I imagine that he will take that course of action. And if he doesn't, then you know what? I'll CC you on the email and you can say, I told you so, guys. So,
No.
yeah, well, I
I know
just,
that.
you know, do you trust the college cabinet members that we've had in our room?
I do.
Or, yeah, great, then should be
So then
not an
maybe we
issue.
should just send it to all of the cabinet members.
That was the plan, yes.
Okay.
Because they'll all
I
get a
just don't
chance
want
to
to
see
get
it.
lost.
No, it's gonna go to all the cabinet members plus Stephanie plus Cole will be on it, so. Okay, so would you be willing to make a motion to approve the agenda with the amendment that Stephanie Belmas made?
With a very small,
Yep, from, I think it's like from, instead of on to by that. So, yeah, so motion made by Senator Villarreal, second by Senator Mattson. Nice to have the new Senate coming on this. So that was the motion, that was the second. Do we have any further discussion?
Just to make sure that, Jose is CC'd on it too, since he's.
Mm-hmm, definitely. With that, we can do a vote by roll call. Let's pull it up.
I'm sorry, you guys, I'm sorry.
It's a very tiring day. We have one last letter after this. Yes.
Now I'm reverting to the naughty item I got from
That's
our
okay.
student life.
Oh. Well, that's a problem.
I just saw that. The one with the last one. Our last one. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Dude, I lied to Andrew and
I don't
said that I
know.
get done at 6:30.
But mostly me.
I'm surprised he hasn't been knocking
Let's
at the door.
add you in at the bottom and then we're gonna alphabetically correct it.
He just must, maybe he's in a food coma. Then we also went to the store and they bought a remote control car. So we saw it.
Wait, is he the one driving the remote control car down there?
Yeah, that's my kid.
All I hear.
Yeah. It was our happy compromise when I told him that I wanted to be in person for the meeting. And he's like, but what? I was going to jujitsu. And I'm like, and you can go tomorrow.
What is going on? Okay, fixed it. Okay, with that, we can do a vote by roll call for this. We're so close to the end, everyone.
Roll call starts now. VP Tao, aye. Vice President of Legislative Affairs Hashmi,
Yay.
Vice President of Clean Development,
Aye.
Hollywood. Vice President of Public Relations, Jackson Winters,
Aye.
Senator Avila,
Yes.
Senator Cyril Brunner. Abstain. Senator Gladson,
Yes.
Senator Patillo,
Yes.
Senator Rafter,
Yep.
Senator Richgills.
Yep.
Senator Villarreal,
Senator Villarreal,
Senator West. Abstain. Senator Mendoza,
Yes.
Portage Senator Crowder,
Yes.
Reesburg Senator Stacy Brunner. Abstain. Vote Atkinson, Senator Dirks.
Yes.
What's the tally?
17. Yes.
Sorry?
13, yes.
Okay. So with a vote of 13 in favor, 0 against, and 3 abstaining, this motion passes. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for sitting through. There's one last one to go through. It will be bill number 7, selecting a Senate rep for WSG governor. Let's share my screen. I can read from it again. Okay, last one of the evening. Bill number 7, selecting a Senate rep for WSG governor. Student Senate will amend the bylaws to establish a selection process for determining Madison College governor and lieutenant governor for the Wisconsin government. The bylaws are amended to outline a formal process for selecting the student senate member to serve as the Madison College governor, lieutenant governor for Wisconsin government, revising the duties of vice president of legislative affairs, and creating an individual position under Article 3 membership and Article 10 duties of student senate officers. Wisconsin student government is comprised, WSG is comprised of student representatives from all 16 technical college systems, WCS districts, and in line with the mission of Madison College Student Senate, WSG also aims to advocate for expanded access to affordable education for all technical college students across Wisconsin. Additionally, Madison College representatives that serve as the governor for WSG would be the vice president of legislative affairs. However, in the event they're not able to fulfill that duty, there should be a process outlined for how to select an alternative representative in order to retain Madison College representation, agency, sovereignty, influence, and voting rights. Student Senate should attempt to have representation at all WSG meetings. For the reasons listed above, we, the members of the Student Senate, believe that the bylaws should be amended to provide clear guidelines for how to select a representative for WSG. Section 2, bylaw revision. The bylaw should be amended to read the following. Article 3, Section 8, Madison College representatives for Wisconsin student government duties of WSG representatives. Student Senate members that have been selected to serve as WSG representatives in the role by the governor, lieutenant governor, shall follow all duties and rules outlined for that role in WSG Constitution bylaws. WSG Constitution bylaws, governor and lieutenant governor shall agree to serve in full capacity and commit to travel and participate in all statewide meetings of Wisconsin student government. WSG representatives, well, highlight that now. Okay, not spell that. Shall also serve as members of the Rules and Legislative Affairs Committee, completing work to organize informational campaigns to inform students of local, state, and national issues that could affect their educational experience at Madison College. WSG representatives shall make efforts to participate in lobbying efforts on behalf of Student Senate, Madison College, including WSG Student Issue Lobby Day, and any other legislative matters affecting students. WSG reps will document details of the meetings and write reports to be shared with student executive council for sharing and record keeping purposes, appointing representative. In the event there are not enough candidates to hold an election, Senate President, Vice President of Legislative Affairs may appoint student Senate members to serve as WSG representative at their discretion with Constitution for the Executive Council. Student Senate President or Executive Officer in place is empowered to appoint a temporary WSG representative to be announced at the Student Senate General Assembly should their position remain vacant at the WSG meeting. Temporary appointees may decline the appointment. Senate members are appointed as temporary WSG reps and required to carry out the duties of their role. Temporary appointments must be announced at the next General Assembly meeting. Temporary appointments expire after the WSG meeting is complete, unless Student Senate votes to extend the period of appointment for a designated period of time not to exceed beyond the end of the semester. Election WSG rep. Student Senate shall determine WSG rep by way of an election decided through a majority vote during the General Assembly meeting with the President casting a tie-breaking vote. Current Madison College students and members in good standing are eligible to run for the position. Call for nominations should be announced at least 1 week in advance of selecting the election date. WSG rep candidates must be nominated by a current student senate member that is present in the General Assembly meeting. The candidate must accept the nomination to be considered for the election. Once candidates accept their nominations, each will be invited to provide a general platform statement regarding their candidacy for that specific role. Candidates must ask respectfully and not interrupt while other candidates provide their platforms to the Senate. Candidates may have up to 2 minutes to speak to Senate. Each candidate will also be given the opportunity to answer 3 questions may be approved by the Exec Council. Candidates may have up to a total of 5 minutes to answer 3 questions. In the event candidate answers all questions, there's still remaining time. Senate members may ask any follow-up questions for the candidate for additional clarification. Once allowed time up, Senate members may take a confidential ballot vote to confirm the winner of the election. Senate members may choose to vote in favor of the eligible candidates or abstain from selecting a candidate. WSG representative candidates may participate in a confidential vote, ballot vote as student Senate members can elect to vote for themselves. In the event there are more than 2 candidates, Senate shall implement ranked choice voting to determine the winners of the election, with the primary vote recipient receiving the title of governor and the runner-up receiving the title of lieutenant governor. When there are only 2 candidates running for WSG position, the Senate candidate who does not receive majority vote should be appointed as lieutenant governor. And this is just eliminating the section from legislative affairs. So that's no longer tied to that position, because in the case that that person can't do it, now we don't have to go through the process of figuring it out. And I think that's all for this one. So ideas, a lot of the legislative affairs team already went through it. I've already included all the concerns that they had in there with the highlighted portions. And so that team went through it and was okay with it. For people that weren't in there, this has been circulating around for the past 3 weeks, but this is your first time getting to it. Is there anything that jumps out at you? Annette? I knew you were going to what?
I was just one small thing.
Sure.
We usually know the dates for the the year, what they're gonna be, so I feel like there should be, that information should be presented to the person, the people who are running, so that they can lock it down in their calendar, ideally. You know what I mean? It's like,
It
I'm
is,
letting you
it's
know.
presented in the Senate training. So this
Yeah.
past year it wasn't updated, but Kai did a presentation about it, so it'll always be updated there every year.
Okay.
It's not in the bylaws to say that the advisor should do it, but the advisor should do it. So I don't know if we could add something in the bylaws, but I feel like that's
You can
something
just assume I'm gonna do it.
worked
Yeah.
around. Yeah,
No, I
like,
just
like
wanted
a
to
good
make sure.
advisor would do that.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that they got the dates before they decided to run for the position. It's kind of what I was trying to get across.
Okay.
To just make it more feasible that they know what they're committing to ahead of time.
It is kind of insinuated that they would get a copy of the Constitution and bylaws. So
Are you okay with how it's written now?
I am, it's just that I wish there was something in there about, reviewing the dates or something. For that
could-
calendar year. 'Cause of course, they're gonna be slightly different each year, and that's, I think, some of the issues that we ran into.
Okay, so this is what it does say. So shall agree to serve in full capacity and commit to travel and participate in all statewide meetings of Wisconsin student government. That would be the area where you could add something there. I guess it's insinuated that you would, but it's not directly stated that the dates would be shared with them. Do you want it to be directly stated, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
something about the dates.
Okay,
we
so-
shared Prior to them
And-
running for the position.
Would you agree, they also need to be agreed upon? So if you agree to these dates,
Yeah.
it's all.
Well,
What are you saying with that one?
maybe
Well,
not agree,
I'm
but
asking,
at
like,
least
is
that
the
they can
reason-
attend the majority of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause I
of
don't-
course, if there's an emergency, we can't
Sure,
expect
yep,
someone
yep.
to, not take care of their kid, because y'all told us that it's me.
Yes, Cole.
Truthfully, how you have it written is how it's interpreted at every other school.
Is it?
That's why we
I've
did.
asked
Okay.
specifically about that. You can assume, and it's gonna happen, that if we're to turn this into an application process, like much for an orientation, either the dates will be provided, but they won't be provided probably until we get closer to that training period ending, because we don't decide the dates until February with the advisors, and it's not verified until the April meeting.
Okay.
So they will be provided regardless. I think if we get too specific, then we end up in the situation we just ended up this year where we were by committee. Where I think how it's written is general enough that you do commit to doing these. We always have an extenuating circumstance that's available in that capacity.
I'm good with that.
Lesson from WSG, never go too full in detail because
That's
you're
true.
right. So that's why it's as it is. And this is kind of similar to how Moraine Park actually has their section for it. So thank you, Chaz. Learned a lot from that guy. Okay, is that the only
Yeah, I'm
thing?
good with that. I just wanted to make sure the dates are gonna get shared as soon as possible. That's all.
If you trust Cole, then
I
yes.
trust Cole.
And trusting the.
Cole's on
Put them out there.
Perfect. So is that the only thing?
Lando's raising their hand.
Lando, do you have something?
It's more so clarification. So in the event the governor can't make it to the meeting, is the lieutenant governor then, do they get promoted to the governor for that meeting while they're not there? Is it like SAB where we have the primary and the alternate?
You do, and that's WSG rules,
that's already
which
in
is
the
why
bylaws,
it
right?
defers, and that's why it defers to the WSG Constitution and bylaws. So that way, if they ever
Gotcha.
change their rules, we do not have to change our bylaws. Now
Yes.
we are just going off of theirs because we're a member of them, which not only makes sense, it makes it easier for us, and we don't have constant updates.
Okay,
Like
thanks
it?
for answering that. That's all I had, yeah.
No,
Thank you.
thanks
I do
for
like it,
asking it.
yes. I like, all
Okay.
the procedure there.
Well, WSG Governor Current, would you be willing to entertain this motion to approve the bill?
I would, yes.
Okay, who wants a second? Senator Villarreal. With that, any discussion further? Hearing none, we can do to a vote by a roll call. Let's make sure that Senator Mendoza is on there because we copy and paste that over there. And now we will begin a vote by roll call for this.
VP Tao.
Sorry, let me fix that for you. There we go.
Next, Vice President of Legislative Affairs Hashmi.
Yay.
Next, Vice President of Team Development Salipu.
And she left, so abstaining.
He's online.
Oh, she's online. Oh, thank you.
She left, don't worry about it.
Next,
My bad.
Vice President of Public Relations Jackson Winters.
Abstain.
Next, Senator Avila.
Aye.
Next, Senator Cyril Brunner. Abstain. Next, Senator Matson.
Yes.
Senator Putillo.
Yes.
Senator Rafter.
Nay.
Next, Senator Rich Gills.
Yep.
Next, Senator Valerio.
Senator Villarreal abstain.
Next. Next, Senator West, abstain. Next, Senator Mendoza.
Yes.
Next, Portage Senator Crowder.
Yes.
Next, Reesburg Senator Stacy Brunner. Abstain. Next, Fort Atkinson Senator Dirk.
Aye.
So for a bill to pass in Senate, it does require 3/4 approval. So any bill that changes the bylaws, I should say, and this is one that qualifies under that. So this requires 3/4 approval.
We have 10 yes, 1 no, and 5 abstain.
With that voting record, this bill does pass. Thank you, everyone. We can move forward with the rest of our agenda. New business, there's no new business. Non-business, housekeeping. New senator induction ceremony is next week, Thursday, May 8th. Announcements, our next meeting will be Thursday, May 8th, in D1630 DC at 4:30 p.m. We will send you an invite, a formal invite you can send to your parents, friends, family, loved ones. And another announcement is we almost kept our word and finished within 3 hours, only 2 minutes over. If there were office hours, we'd give you a whole 2 hours of it, but there are none. So with that, we'll take a motion to adjourn. Senator Villarreal, second by Senator Riggles. With that, all in favor of adjourning, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Same. With that, motion carries. Meeting adjourned, 7:32 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for very long.